Hello, hello. Hey, Phil. Happy Friday. So we are now 46 days away. I spent all of my time yesterday making a video on YouTube where, how do I get this? Adam Irons. Hey, Stockton. So over here, videos, I did a video covering the evolution of Skeleseller. And I started with just a quick thing of here's what the current game looks like. And then throughout, I cover old versions of the game. So there's checkpoint 1, checkpoint 2, checkpoint 3. And part of the reason I did this is the marketing effect of, okay, hopefully this will get views. I don't think that's going to happen, and I want to talk about that in a sec. But the other reason I did this is because I like capturing what a project was throughout its development in a video where you don't need to go back and be like, okay, how do I set this up? Like I clone and then I need to check out something from, commit from 2024 in order to try that. And then from 2025, or I look at screenshots and I eventually lose them. It's nice to just have it in this form so I can look at it in the future. And similarly, I have that post-mortem for Botland here where I made a blog post of just everything. I have screenshots. It would have been nice to have more videos of this stuff, I guess, but whatever. Like, it's nice to do that. Now, on that other front of, hey, this only got 134 views, I don't really spread this very far, so I'm probably not going to get views on these long form videos. But I think that's the conclusion that I have. Like, long form videos for marketing is out. I want to try shorts again, and then after that, I think I throw in the towel on my own content, and I don't think that's a problem. I've talked about this before. Like, I have a game to market. If I make a video about the game, then I have a video to market. So now I'm one level of indirection away from the thing I actually want to market. And that's pretty much what I have to do, right? I'd have to be like, okay, let's go get 100,000 views on this video. If it spread naturally, then fine, but you can't count on virality. Hey, Matt, I'm popping in to say I hope you have a productive morning. I have a meeting on Tuesday, and I'm going to try to hammer out the revamp of this game this weekend. So heads down until then. Let's accomplish our goals. Nice. Yeah. Good luck. And thank you. I believe in you. Believe in the broken heart. Matt will know what that means. All right. So yeah, I want to try some short form video at some point. What else do we have here? Yeah, and I kind of want to push a version today. I'm not totally sure about that. Okay, anyway, let's tackle some just random tasks that I have. Add some particles. Oh, nice. Yeah, I know you said it's projecting onto wood, but as long as you can see the particles, I think those would be welcome touches. All right, so I want to do this. Is there anything else on this particular list? Something about add the translators to the credits. I want to do that too. Translators. Yeah, here. Yeah, I want to get some things off of this list ideally. Is there anything else? I should probably just do this at this point. Yeah. Oh yeah, take care, Matt. And I think that's a probably good start. Okay, let's go tackle this stuff. So pressing escape for really skip in the intro and never actually skips. This is probably true for the outro too. So we need to not skip the intro. Skip intro. So we just write skip intro as false. So this can never be the case. Well, let's try that now. This is a pretty straightforward bug, and I think I know how to fix it without even looking at the code. But still, I want to repro this and just make sure that we're in the right spot. So all you have to do is press escape a bunch of times. Huh, that's weird. Maybe I wasn't pressing it fast enough. Oh, no. Oh, my God. I know what's causing this. Okay, this is... Okay, so we have a feature flag. Are we on a debug build or not? And on debug build, we speed up our transitions because as a developer, you have to watch those transitions, whatever, 20 times per day. So waiting an extra second for that means you're adding 20 seconds to your day for no real reason. But by speeding them up, we have obscured this particular bug a little bit. Now, granted, I don't really think this is a big bug. If people even encountered it, it wouldn't be a big deal. But it should also be pretty fast to fix. Hey, TJ. Happy Friday. Yeah, so we click story mode, and then we just press escape a bunch of times. There, this is the problem. And it should be very simple to fix, as I mentioned. In the intro, we have skip button here, and when you click it, we presumably... Oh, we don't disable it. Transition into game. Skip button dot disabled equals true. And then we have unhandled input. On skip cutscene, so here we would check and not skip button dot disable. That's it. Hey, Katie. It was nice being a windy stream again. And then we just do the same thing for the outro. There's no really skip for this. No, because it's outro antidote. Yeah. Go back to game. Disabled equals true, and an unhandled input. Oh, no, I typed it out. Cool. Okay, that should be it. Hey, Buffer, welcome in. Good to see him pop in for his monthly. He's made a lot of progress on the game. It's looking good. Let me charge my phone before I forget. Okay, so the problem should be solved. I don't know why you couldn't click it, though. Maybe it had to do with fading out. Or maybe I just wasn't testing it correctly. Anyway, I want to turn this down and do this. Now we just mash escape a bunch of times and it shouldn't do anything special. Yeah, it just quits. And then same thing for the... Let's load game. And what's... Oh, I'm not on a build that can do this. Oh, fine. We got to go back onto a debug build so I can cheat, and then go back to the non-debug build so I can use the cheated save file. Really big progress. Is great to see. Yeah, I also had an idea last night before I fell asleep that has to do with Windy that I like sort of talked to him about, that if he saw this clip, he'd never know what I was talking about. But that I wrote down while I was watching a stream today. And it might help my next game. Okay, so what, we save and load and now we can watch the intro? Yeah, nice. For outro, I meant. All right, so now we set this back to false and we reload. And I should probably save the save file. Let's just let this load so it doesn't steal the focus. There we go. Okay, so cp save.json, save with watch outro. This is probably pretty easy to just recreate. Hey, Pickle, how's it going? All right, so now we hit continue and we should have watch outro there. And I click this and then just mash escape. All right, it doesn't even fade out. I don't think there's a problem with that. Yeah, and I shouldn't be able to do anything differently over here. Yeah. This is always going to happen. I don't care about that. This is not always going to happen, but I should probably run the UID tool at some point. Run UID tool. All right, so bug fixed. Fix minor bug. You could mash escape during the intro and maybe the outro, and it would just keep trying to leave the scene, but never actually complete. Well, not never. Now we disable the skip button and check to see whether it's enabled when pressing escape. All right, so it's done. Add translators to the credits. Let's knock out one other thing that we have here too, which is to theme the credits scene correctly. Change the theme, make sure the credits are correct. Yeah, so we're going to do both of these issues, I think. Which means we're probably going to delete the stone panel theme. I think it's the only thing that's using it. Game credits. So here, apparently not there. Where do we... Oh, there's where we put the theme. All right, so we're going to load in the paper stack. Is that what's best? Or a scroll? What uses the scroll? I don't know. All right, let's just find it in the game. Shouldn't be that hard to find, right? Ah, there, the settings menu. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of for this. Game settings menu. So what is that theme called? Controls.tres, really? Why is this not theming this correctly? Because we override this to be a certain texture. Interesting. And it's for the panel container. I mean, I guess we could do that here too. I don't know why we didn't just do that in the theme. Paper. What's this called? Oh, it's the texture that we load, and it's called scroll back. There we go. Okay. With that said, I guess it looks a little weird to have a game logo on a sheet of paper. But then again, this is the credits menu. I don't think it's such a big deal. The spacing is all wrong. We need to add more of a margin here. Yeah, sure. 50, 50. We need even more of a margin than that, apparently. Texture margins, 80, 80, 111, 135. 80, 80, 111, 135. All right, so then now we don't need this? Is that what I'm hearing? Yeah, what's causing the massive amount of blank space? Is it something just not taking up the entirety of the container? Huh, that's strange. What do we do over here? We had the panel and then we had the VBox container within it. Here we have a margin container, but the margin container... Oh, maybe we need to set this to 0? No. I don't know why this isn't taking up the whole thing. Both of these are set to fill. I guess we don't even really need it though. We could just delete it and put this there. And it still looks bad. What am I doing wrong? Maybe it's got... No, it doesn't make sense. Unless this isn't set to expand? No, it is. Oh, wait, no. All right. Well, I'm confused. Yeah. I'm confused. What am I missing? All right, how about this? Let's make this even easier. Let's just make a... I don't know, a label in here. This is a test of what will happen. Yeah. So already, even with just a label, it's like, why is this taking up that much space? Maybe I typed the numbers wrong. 80, 80, 111, 135. 80, 80, 111, 135. Is there some other thing we need? Oh, content margins? Okay, that's my bad. 30, 63. I'll write these down. 30, 63, 23, 65. Okay. There we go. Okay, fixed. Hey, Goose. Now we put this back in and delete the label that I added. Okay, so that's better, but we still have an issue. The button isn't showing up correctly, and the text is a little bit hard to read. Why is that not being themed, I wonder? Because these are themed just fine. What are they? It's just a button. It has a theme on the button? Okay, well, I didn't expect that. Okay, let's go add that in. Close button. All right, so that looks better now. And now just the text needs to be changed. This does not have a theme override. So something is setting another theme here. Is that right? No. Huh. These labels are red. But how do they get red? Controls. Yeah, weird. Oh, maybe they're not labels. Maybe they're rich text labels, and that's why. No, they are labels. Are these labels? Yes. Where is this one? Yeah, and it's red. How are you red? Huh. Whoops. Let me do that. Let's go see. Yeah, font color of button. Label has a font color. It should be inheriting this from the parent, but it isn't. Maybe because there's some other theme coming into play. No, that's not true. Strange. What am I missing? Label color has a font color. Oh, maybe they're explicitly set font colors in here. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yes. Okay, my bad. All right, easy peasy. All right, so we just go wipe out all of that. Yeah. I don't know if you can do this on multiple at once, can you? Yes, you can. Nice. So then we can just select them all. Let's get that, and that. Okay, so now this is looking more like the other dialogues that we have. The fonts are different. How do I want to do this? Do we want to change it so that... Well, let's just try changing one of them. Just see what happens. Theme, font, regular, normal. It's called normal here. Skeleseller main. What? Oh, it would be Skeleseller hand in this case. Does that look better? I think I'm overthinking this. I don't think the credits font matters. Yeah, why is this yellow? Labels with auto wrapping enabled must have a minimum size to work in a container. Sure. Give you a size of something like 75. I don't know. Hey, Cakes. Thanks for the raid. I accidentally thought that your game launched a little while ago, and I sent you a congratulations message. I'm not even sure if you saw it, but I see that it's coming up. I'm very excited for you. How are you feeling about it? And welcome in, everyone. We all thought so. Okay, so it wasn't just me. It was the stream titles. And hey, Mohit Kumar on YouTube. What language am I using? I'm using C#. Although right now I'm just modifying the UI in Godot. But yeah, I'm using C# for the main game that I'm making. I actually just did a video yesterday talking about the entire evolution of the game. So if you look at the very beginning of my game dev on this, it looked like... Wait, this is technically the prototype of the game. Where was it? Yeah, here. Here's what the game looked like about 2 years ago. It was a mess. And now the game looks like this. It's a lot prettier. It's a lot more polished looking. You can actually like resize the game window and still be able to play. But yeah, this is a casual town management game. You send adventurers into battle, you earn items, you sell them. You make the UI all by yourself from scratch. So I made some of it, but in the credits, there are two people that I would say did more than I did. One is the actual images of the UI. This was made by Quickie Joe. And then a lot of the UI was made by Kevin. Oh, in fact, I'm looking at the credit screen right here. Yeah, Quickie Joe did the art, and Kevin did a lot of the kind of special UI that you see in the game. So can I add a button to a page? Yeah. Can I make things look nice? Not as much. Got any tips on prototyping when trying to solidify your idea? Yeah, I've got a few. I should probably do a video on this. And I'll answer you now, but I'm going to write this down for myself for later. Add as a video idea. So my general suggestions when prototyping, treat it as a throwaway. So don't try to think like, how do I code this best? Like cut, oh, actually I did a video on this, didn't I? Cut any corners that you can. And I think make sure it's actually proving something. So let's say your idea is a game idea. The prototype should be probably mildly fun, at least. Like, it's not going to be your complete game, of course. And if you're prototyping very rapidly, like 3-4 days, then yeah, the odds that you can make a complete game are next to zero. I mean, people get pretty far in game jams, so they don't feel like totally finished games. So yeah, like, what's your goal with this thing? Is it to prove that, oh, this thing is going to work, that it's possible? Is it proving that it's fun? Is it proving that it, I don't know, meets a customer need? Why use C# over C++? I'm not sure Godot even had C++ support back then. Maybe they did. I'm not sure. But I don't like C++. One, manual memory management, I'm not a fan of. Two, C++'s header files. I've just never liked this idea. Like, the last time I really used C++ was probably like 2006. And I didn't enjoy it. I think C++ it's evolved a lot in the last 20 years, and now there's a lot of stuff you just shouldn't even use when it comes to C++, like all the outdated ways of doing things. But still, I just never felt the need to go back. How old am I? I've got a command for that. I've got a command for everything. All right, so I'm just going to ignore the fonts for this for right now. So what I want to do is I want to add the translators to this UI. And I don't think I want them showing all the time. But as long as this is scrollable, yeah, like, what I think I want to do is I think I want to make it so that this part can be scrolled, or maybe the entirety of this part can be scrolled. And that way the translators are at the bottom here, and you can just scroll and see them if you want to. I think that makes the most sense. Wishability. So yeah, so I know it's in my title of when I'm launching, although I don't think it tells you the exact day, but it's March 17th, which is a Tuesday, which is also St. Patrick's Day. And I picked that day for a couple of reasons that don't really matter at this point. But yeah, we're 46 days away, and one of the questions I get is like, what's left? And in general, at this point, it's polish, bug fixes, and marketing. I think those are the biggest ones. There are some decent sized bug fixes I need to work on, like better controller support. But in general, oh man, I didn't show this actually. Let me show you something. No one has seen this on stream before. So this is going to be a first for everybody. How do I show you this? Okay, so I got a comment from someone playing the game a while ago. And let me show you how I addressed this comment. Hey, Flair. Okay, so when you start up Skeleseller, let's turn on the music and everything too. And you make a new game, it shows you the intro cutscene, which we're going to skip. And then you get to this. I've got the land for Skeleton, but I need adventurers to do battle for me. If only I had a guild. And I think it's zoomed in a little more when you do this. So you click look around, and it actually moves the camera to this sign. Some people did not see this sign, and they just immediately started pressing like WASD and moving around, and they wouldn't see these other signs. These are only because I'm in a debug build. And then they left me feedback saying like, I didn't know what to do at the beginning. So now after 25 seconds pass, watch what happens. This is very goofy. And I think I was talking for like 10 seconds, so we don't have to wait for too long. Yeah, so you're starting to see it happen. This is a small little stupid thing that I really shouldn't have worked on. But more and more arrows will just keep pointing. I love this kind of idea. I want to do more of this, where it's the kind of thing where I anticipated someone's needs, and I don't know, maybe what really happens is there's a streamer who's going to cover the game and they walk away from their computer and they come back and they see this and they're like, really? Because they don't understand that this only happens after 25 seconds. And I even made it so that the ones that are on the right side go farther away, so that if you're looking over here, you'd still see it, hopefully. But yeah, then you build it and they all go away, and that's that. So most people playing the game normally will never see that. They're not going to wait 25 seconds there, and it's only in literally the first, like, what, 30 seconds that you play the game. But it's a nice little touch. I'd like to do more of that. I like to do more little fun things that people can discover. Then again, every once in a while, someone will ask, like, hey, did you put any Easter eggs in the game? And I don't think they're looking for a yes or no answer. I think they're looking for a, what are the Easter eggs? I'd like to share in those. So I was thinking, what if I just did a video on all that sort of thing? And that would kind of ruin the surprise, I guess. Probably better if someone else does an Easter egg video. Anyway, going back to this. So what I said is we should make this thing inside of a scroll container. Yeah, so let's add a scroll container. It's like adaptive tutorials. I haven't seen those, but I'm guessing if you don't understand what's going on, that it just keeps pushing you in a different way or makes things easier or something like that. All right, so for a scroll container to work, we need a minimum size. I don't know, 500. And then this, I want it to just take up as much space as possible. So horizontal is disabled, vertical is auto. Yeah, this looks kind of stupid. Oh, that works. Yeah, that works. Yeah, and then I want this outside of here, which I guess means that the parent of that needs to be in a VBox container. I might have a little too much going on here now. There. This is kind of what I'm thinking, and then this one just gets a higher separation. Maybe like that. Also, hey, Showboat and Stevie. So you have a VBox container, then another VBox container, and inside this VBox container is... Oh, no, that actually makes sense. Yeah. They give tutorial messages only if you don't understand mechanics in a lot of scenarios. They let you click things for a while. If you haven't figured it out, they give you a tutorial. Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool way of doing things. I kind of like that there are invisible features in some games to most of a player base. For example, I forgot which Mario game it is. One of the ones after the Wii, probably, where if you die, whatever, like 3 times on a course, then you start with Starman. It's like, this was probably super easy for them to code. It is very, very generous to the players who are struggling. I don't know if these are the exact rules, by the way. And then you're invincible for whatever a Starman lasts for, 15 seconds or something. So yeah, if you struggle with something now, like it helps you get over that hurdle more easily. I think there was a game, what was that PlayStation thing? Astrobot? Yeah, this game. I think this game did a lot of that. Like if you're struggling with a particular section, they just like move you past that section. And yeah, I think it's nice for anyone who has maybe an accessibility problem, or maybe they're like the 4-year-old playing the game and they're like, oh, look at all the fun things that are happening, and then they don't want to get frustrated on one segment. Old games definitely didn't do that stuff. You got stuck in a Zelda game, you were just stuck in a Zelda game. All right, so what are we doing here? We're going to add the translators now below this. Is there a way to scroll inside the editor here? I don't know if that's a thing. I don't need it to be. But yeah, I was curious about this. So I set the minimum size of this, but if I lowered this, yeah, I think that's going to be a little bit of a problem. I guess I want... this to take up as much size as possible. Thing is, I only want to do this if there's a reason to do this. Which I guess is the reason to have a max size container. Yeah, I never figured out if there's a better way to do this particular pattern in Godot. Let's say we put this back to here. No, fine. All right, I'll just modify these. Here. All right, so we have some offsets here. What are those for? I don't know what those are for. And then top and bottom, let's set this to 0.1 and 0.9. That's probably better. And then we just throw in all of the translators. Yeah. So how do we do that? Team title, empty cell. Okay, let's do that. Put that down there. So this will be translators title, and then empty cell. I guess 2 is fine. I don't really care. Translators. Oh, that bumps everything? I didn't think about this. This means in other languages, team and assets may bump everything. All the accessibility stuff isn't really just for kids or people with disabilities. Sometimes people just don't play video games that much. I was showing your friend Dota for the first time, and this guy was a pro Melee player, and for most of the first three to four games, he was struggling to edge pan the camera. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree in general. I think accessibility means kind of two things. The just basic definition of it is that something becomes more available or easily usable by somebody. But then I think the software connotation is it's like people who are blind, or people who, I don't know, can't use a mouse or something like that, or a keyboard. And it's like, okay, yeah, that is a component of accessibility. But if you only have this connotation, then you won't think of the people who struggle due to difficulty, for example. Like technically just having an easy, medium, hard control in your game is an accessibility control. It's if you only had the hard version of it, it's now not accessible to the people who can never rise to that challenge. Hey, Ski. In general, they're not positive for everyone. Yeah, I agree. Especially when they're optional. I mean, imagine if you had like a UI scale in a game, you could just not change that if you don't need to. But now if you're part of seeing, then you could change it. And it doesn't really hurt anyone except for maybe the developers who had to code something. If the game's not popular, then they might have made a bunch of features that didn't matter. But that's true of any feature you might add to a game that's not popular. All right, so do I do anything about this problem? Let's say this translates to something really long in German. What is the word for translators in German? Oh my goodness. Why is it such a long word? Okay, so it would look like that. And then everything would probably get condensed. I mean, we could just make the UI bigger. Yeah, I can make this panel a touch larger. Like 0.45, 0.55. That doesn't actually increase the size of this. Why? Yeah, what am I missing? Oh, because we have a hard-coded size? Am I being a dum-dum? Okay, it definitely does expand. Okay, yeah. So, can I just revert this? Why does this not expand this, I wonder? It does when I do that. Huh. Okay, well, what if I just set this to 0.4 and 0.6? Oh, this won't... Oh my god. All right, I'm being an idiot with all of this. Hey, Dabledore. That would just mean female translators, by the way. Theoretically, there'd be two words. You can't, in German, like lump everyone under a translators thing and have it be correct. Because in French, at least, when you're talking about a group of people, it typically gets like gendered male. I don't know how German works for that. I know there's a neutral thing, but I don't know what you use that for. I never really learned German. Hey, Andy. Got a new startup job 2 weeks ago. Can't sleep. Well, congrats on the job. I'm guessing the can't sleep means poor work-life balance. Do you think it's going to improve at some point? You do always type both masculine and feminine? A lot of people write both now? Wow, really? Okay. Huh, interesting. I did not know about this. I learned French a very long time ago. Also, learned French. I learned some of French a really long time ago. Not the totality of French. Yeah, all right, so I guess we just do this. Let's set this to 0.5, 0.5, and then just do negative 50, 50. Even this isn't doing anything, though. And I think this has to do with the size of the screen, which is why I'm hesitant to even use this as a solution. And now nothing's centered. Now it's centered. Hmm. Well, all right, let's add in the translators. So how do we want to do this? I guess we could put their name and then the language that they translated. And these would not be URLs. Are any of these not URLs to begin with right now? No, they all are. Well, we could just not put a URL there, right? Yeah, I'll just add in a new rich text label. All right, so we write Hideo and fit content, don't clip, and then align it to the right. Horizontal alignment right. Okay, cool. And then we add in another cell down there and we say French. Okay, and I just do that a bunch of times. No, it means I'm excited. Oh, I see. Okay, got you. Good. Yeah. Because I was going to just say congratulations. And then I read the, oh boy, I can't sleep. And I'm like, uh-oh, what if they got themselves into something too deep? Well, that's really good then. Yeah. Hey, Leaper Girl. Used to be fluent in German. That's a long time ago. My TV's too small to see the text. Oh, yeah. I'm going to just let the German translators figure this out. Or, well, I'm going to let each set of translators figure this out. Thankfully for English, it's fine. Okay, so I asked everybody how they wanted to be credited. I did this privately. I'm just going to go look at it off screen because it shouldn't be that hard. Okay, so the Resco said the Resco would be fine. So that one's done. Now Malbec said... I don't think Malbec put how they wanted to be credited. But okay, then I'll just use this name for them for now. And I can talk about this later with them. Then the other person was this. Credits, Alfred Hugenose. Okay. And then who's the fourth German translator we had? Lammy. And Lammy said credits Lammy. Okay, good. All right, so those are all the German translators. Then Portuguese was just Amanda. Let me go find that information. Give me a second. I'm doing this off screen because there's potentially a lot of private stuff that I'm looking through here. Oh, I think she messaged me about this. Hang on a sec. I don't recall. Okay, I might have to ask her again because I can't pull this up quickly. Let me check one more place. Yeah, I don't know where I did this. All right, well, I'll just write Amanda for now, and I'll eventually ask her how she wants to be credited. And who else? Italian. Let's go find IRAD's credits. Maybe IRAD? Okay, I don't know. I'll ask him too. And then Spanish will be Kevin, which I already have. Yeah, all right. I got to follow up with some of these people then and just make sure that I'm crediting them correctly. Okay, so let's go add them all in. This should be pretty simple to do. Oh, and then I also wanted to do it based on their contributions in order. So we gotta, how do I do this? I don't know how to check this. Users, the Resco. Can I see how many activity in the last 12 months? Huh, doesn't show anything. Browse all changes. Can you see how many somebody had? Okay, so the res code did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strings, I think. I think Molback did a ton of them. Sorry, I know this is not great stream content, but I just need to get stuff done. And I figured I might as well just do this now. All right. Alfred Huge Nose, recent changes. Oh, 129. Oh, it says right there. Okay, cool. That makes this a lot easier. Then Lammy and Molback. Lammy is at 112. Molback is at 1330. And I think that's everybody. Yeah. All right, cool. So we're going to rank them based on this. And it's just credits order. I want to give credit to everyone. I'm not going to put this in the game. I'm just figuring out what order we want to write them in. So now this is going to be Molback. And we put German. And then we duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. This one is Alfred Huge Nose. Lammy. The Resco. Hey, Lammy. Speak of the devil. And then Portuguese. I'm just going to write Amanda for now, but I got to go talk to her about that. And then Italian. And then Spanish. Okay, so this is Italian. Oops, no, it's not. This one's Italian. And this one's Spanish. And this one can be the exact same thing that we had up here. There's a URL for Kevin. Where are you? There. Okay, we'll just copy paste that down to there. And then for this, we got to fill in IRAD. All right, let's go try that in the game. Who's being credited with English? Nobody, but it would be me. And thanks, Andy. Just finished my last exam. Now the waiting begins. Now it begins. I remember you said you were stressed about it. How's your stress level now? All right, so translators. Oh, you know what we could maybe do to make this section a little bit better is just not make it a grid. I don't know. And you can click Kevin to open up his website. Yeah. All right, so is this correct? Hideo, French, Molback, German, Alfred, Huge Nose, German, Lammy, German, Resco, German, and a Portuguese, IRAD, Kevin, okay. Hey, Ultramark. 2 columns. It already is 2 columns. What I was debating on doing is just making it a bulleted list. Because, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I'll write myself a note. Ask a couple of translators about how they want to be credited. Amanda and IRAD are the only ones I was unsure about. Everyone else I asked and I got their answers right. In fact, I could put links on their names. I wonder if I should have asked them about that. Maybe ask everyone if they want a link on their name. Sure that'll change at some point. Well, good. I'm glad that you've tamped it down. Never thought you'd be back streaming game development. Yeah, I think you followed again pretty recently, right? Yeah. Yeah, welcome back. I've been back for a little while now, like a couple years. And I just did a video yesterday on YouTube. I don't know if you saw this, but I'll link this in chat. It's pretty long. It's about half an hour, but it covers the last 2 years. So I think it is perfect for someone in your position to catch up on. And if you don't want to watch, that's fine. I'm not saying like you have to watch this. Just if you're interested. Thanks, Ski. Yeah, I thought it, like I said earlier on the stream, there's a portion of me that did this for marketing, but a very large portion of me did it just because I like having this for archival. Years from now, I'll look back and be like, wow, that game did take a long time to progress and look at how much it changed. Yeah. Yeah, here during the botline period, I'm pretty sure I remember your name. Although unfortunately, so the way that Twitch works, I don't know how many people have ever seen this because it's only for streamers that would see this. But if you click someone's name, you can see some information. This is for you guys too, I guess. But then you have this, the messages section, and it should have everyone's history in the channel, but it only goes back so far. And if this account was different, which this is maybe their same account, I don't know. But then it wouldn't show that, of course. It wouldn't tell you. So like if I click ski, for example, you see the number of messages at the bottom, 999. Like that's not all in this one stream. So that's pretty useful for a lot of reasons. But yeah, I don't have any history for Ultramark here. Love looking back on old stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I'm seeing a bunch of invalid UIDs. I'll fix that later. But yeah, I think this is looking pretty good. And this is exactly what I want. Now, how does it happen? How does it work when the screen resizes? It's still pretty good. Yeah. And what about vertically? I'm not concerned about this being too small. Because, like, can you even play the game if it's this small? But even here, you can still read this. So I think that's fine. And then can you press enter to close this? You can press escape to close it. You cannot press enter. Did unfollow when you quit botline? Yeah. I don't blame you for that. And hey, Patrick. Doesn't let you see your own message history. Yeah, I think that's a real shame. There have been times when I've wanted it, although it's pretty unfortunate. Or pretty rare. Sorry, I meant infrequent. I really hope you can get an answer quickly. Because I'm now in some kind of rabbit hole. Apparently, if it's for a game, you should go. I'm not looking for an answer right now. Sorry, I said this earlier. I'm just going to ask the German translators for what it would be. Because we have 4 German translators, so they can just give me the word that they'd use here. Or I guess words. I wonder if I could have this span multiple lines. Like I could probably do that, right? I never thought about that. Let's try that out. So here, if I set... Can I do this? If I set stretch ratio to like 20. No, that doesn't do anything. It doesn't work for grids. Okay, well, I figured I'd try it. Unless you could set... No. Yeah, I don't think there's a span. That's okay. All right, so yeah, this is looking good. So we rethemed this and we added all the translators. Oh, I see, Leaper Girl. Yeah, I wasn't planning on asking them. But I guess Lammy is here if Lammy wanted to chime in, but I don't want to make them work on the spot. All right, what are we looking at here? Nothing questionable, right? Yeah, nothing questionable. Okay, so improve credits menu. Fixes this and fixes this. There's a new... Can you put this on the same line? You probably can. There's a new theme, and I added the translators. Yeah, cool. Sorry, what's the question? How would you... In German, how would you translate translators here, knowing that there are different genders of the translators? So, like, this is just a section in the credits. Oh, I'm also going to have to update web late, aren't I? Whoa, hold on. One of these is going to get caught as a string that needs to be translated because I just added these, right? Yeah, whoops. Mode disabled. Yeah, I got to set this on all this stuff, right? Okay, well, I'm glad I thought about this a little bit longer. Disable. So I want to disable this for all the names. Names should not be translated. Where's localization? Oh, come on. You can't change this? No. Oh, there it is. Auto translate. Disabled. Okay. Got it. And then everything else is fine. Italian should be translated. Spanish should be translated. Okay. Okay, yeah, there you go, Leap Your Girl. Lammy has answered. Hey, digital. Needs to be a paywall for French. There's technically a paywall for all of the languages because you can't get the game without buying it. Well, I guess there's a demo. When will the game release? On March 17th. And hey, Agio. Okay, cool. So we're checking this in. Yeah, let's do that. And then let's go try out and make sure I didn't just break something here. If I go to project settings and then localization and generate this. It should have just added, no, 5 words, I think. Translators, French, Italian, German, Spanish. Oh, it's 6, I guess. Portuguese. Is that what happened? Because if it's not what happened, then we have a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Oh, wait, what's that doing there? Oh, that's just because of the diff. Okay, got it. Yeah, great. Perfect. All right, so just revert this. I don't care about that for right now. And then that should get reverted. Yep. Perfect. All right, so we're done that. Next, clean up this from reusing locations. Do we still have a to-do list over here? Everything has been done. I love seeing it. All right, so make sure enemy graphics make sense with where they show up. I should also manifest individual enemy types for each location to make it easier to balance without changing multiple locations at once. I think we did that already. Should ideally just be about changing graphics. Make sure items make sense. You shouldn't be getting fire swords in the waterways. Move any unused enemies to the unused folder. And consider more aesthetic arrangements. All right, well, let's start with the first one. Make sure enemy graphics make sense. Let's just go through the whole game and make sure they all make sense. This actually won't take as long as it sounds like it'll take. Because there are only 10 locations, I think, and all the bosses are already fine. So we just click new game over here and then go through. So forest has a forest bat. Wow, that makes sense. So that one is done. Next up is the boss. We're not going to look at any of the bosses because they're all fine. Then the canyon battle has 3 red bats. Yeah, this never struck me as weird. But I guess we did originally have these in the volcano. Do we have different colored bats? Monsters. And which bats do we have? Green, red, and purple. I wonder if we use the purple ones anywhere. Bat.png. We do? We don't? We do in the mines. Do you wear jeans around the house or do you dress up for the stream? I just wear jeans. Most of the time my legs aren't even showing. I like to have a nicer shirt on at least. And thank you for chiming in, Lammy. Let's take a look at this. This has the purple bats, but could those be red bats instead? Yeah, I think so. All right, so I think we swap those maybe. Let's see what they look like in the context of the canyon. Can I turn on invincibility by default? Toggle invincibility. Can I set this to true? I don't know what this does. Set invincibility in the instance manager. Yeah, this probably works. Is it strange to wear them around the house? I feel like that's strange. Maybe I'm the weirdo. As opposed to what? Something more casual or something more formal? Because I think jeans are pretty casual. I mean, if it's like close to bed, I'll wear pajama pants. Which I'd say is even less formal. That's what I want to do here. All enemy data. Let's go get the red bat that we have and just make it bat. See how that looks. Pajama pants all day, all night. Do you work from home or? Yeah, I guess you probably have to work from home, right? Like they aren't actually comfortable, right? I wear track pants usually when I'm not outside. I think jeans are comfortable. Also, sometime around maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, they started getting stretchy. I don't think it's me. I feel like this is some new jeans edition that existed. So like if I pull on the fabric of my pants a little bit, it's not taut. Like if I pull on this, I guess there's almost no give. Yeah, I feel like that's just kind of standard in jeans now. I don't know if that's true everywhere. Actually, I'm kind of curious about that. They did get stretchy, you're right. Wearing shorts inside. We like to keep our place pretty cold in the winter. and then just wear sweatshirts or blankets or something. All right, so we're gonna try this over here. I just want to see, what does this look like? I don't know, it's never really stood out to me and no one ever commented on it. But I do kind of like the purple bats being here better. But red kind of indicate, I'm not gonna worry about this. Who cares? Yeah, whatever. No one's commented. I don't care. I'm not changing that. All right, great. All right, so change locations. Now we go over here. These look fine to me. I don't have a problem with this. Next up, excuse me, volcano. What's inside of here? That's okay. I think we get the Grims after this. I gotta let him actually complete this phase so I can see what the next thing is. Yeah, that's fine. All right, what's next? Crypt. Crypt has slimes. I wonder what we haven't used. And then is there another wave or no? Yeah, there is. Then we have red skeletons. What about the waterways? How was your jeans at home? Tried track pants? Really notice any difference in comfort? I think track pants are comfortable too. They're less comfortable for my cat when she sits on my lap because she has no more traction. She sometimes slides around. Hey, Spiro. A coincidence? I think not. You have one of those keyboards? Yes. I have one of those keyboards. You know, honestly, I don't really think we need to do anything here. It's never really stood out as jarring. So what if these enemies are red? Like, that doesn't mean they have to be in some lava area. But as far as loot goes, you get a fire sword out of here. Even that's not that weird, right? I'm gonna close this. This is stupid. This is really stupid. Yeah. That kind of keyboard is kind of weird. Yeah, I agree. It's not too common to see. That's pretty nice to use. All right, this one I do think is potentially worth doing, so I don't need to do this every single time, which is figure out which enemies are not used in the game at all. We probably manifested them all, though. Maybe this isn't worthwhile. No, maybe this isn't. All right, I'm gonna just delete that too. And then more aesthetic arrangements of the enemies. So, should we do that? Been a couple of intensive years watching the YouTube video now. Yeah, 2020 is when, actually, when did I write the postmortem? I wrote it on apparently October 8th, 2019, but yeah, then I updated it in 2020, which is after I made the decision to retire it. So yeah, it had like a 4-month run from launching to discontinuing. And I think that was the right move. I look back at this and I don't think there was like some, well, I didn't explore under that rock, and if only I'd done that, I would have had success. With Skeleseller, I think if I put 4 months into it after launch, I think people might appreciate it a little bit more. But I don't think there's going to be any like, oh, you definitely want to come back and play because of this kind of feature that I have planned. It's going to be more things to pull in new players than to get back old players. Hey, Kappa. If anyone's interested in game dev, by the way, and hasn't seen this, this is a post I made from a while ago. Talks about everything with Botland and streaming, and I think it's pretty good. I recommend reading it. It's very long. Maybe you could just have your phone read it to you. Hey, GLFA. Thanks for the raid. And welcome in. I was watching Windy this morning and had to go get ready. And I was in a rush to get like everything done. And I saw that he raided you. But I didn't get a chance to say hi or anything. But yeah, thank you for dropping in. Hope your stream went well. I seem much more cheerful now. I really felt for you back then. I suspect you're talking about when Botland was ending, because I think I was pretty cheery while making Botland. And then toward the end, it was really tough for me to grapple with that, because I felt like my dreams were sand slipping through my fingers. And that I wasn't going to get that opportunity again. But yeah, things are a lot better now. And also, some circumstances have changed too. So, for example, Botland, I've never shared the budget, but it was much more than Skeleseller. Skeleseller, I have shared the budget. It is $500. And I have spent like 250 or maybe 300. I don't know, something like that. And yeah, this is not big for game development. Now, I'm not counting the time I would have paid myself, and I'm paying the people who helped work on it out of the revenue of the game. So if it makes, let's say, $100, I probably actually make $0. But yeah, it doesn't really doesn't really matter. Played that back then, yeah. Yeah. What'd you work on today, GLFA? I think you were doing some C stuff earlier. You said sharpening your skills last time, if I recall correctly. But I might not be recalling correctly. You know what? Maybe this is something I shouldn't even think about either. Here. Save, and we go over to here. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. We have... Oh, I died. We have this arrangement of enemies. It's not very aesthetic looking. Like, we could put all the slimes in the front row and then all the other ones in the back rows. But yeah, no one's commented. I think we should leave it as is. And then flavor text on the bosses could be better. Yeah, I don't think some of these are great, but still, I'm just going to delete this. Friday is C study day. Ah, gotcha. I hope it went well. So now run the UID tool, take more breaks. I'm glad that's on the to-do list. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. I was thinking about you. I haven't seen you in a while. It's been going pretty well. I was mentioning this earlier, but I'm going to keep pushing this video on everybody. But I made a video covering the evolution of Skeleseller over the last 2 years. And I think it's pretty nice to see all at once. I don't remember exactly when you joined in, but I think it was like... Well, no, I do remember exactly when you joined in because it was after the Evoc video. So it was like 7 months ago. But if I didn't have that milestone, I wouldn't have remembered. So yeah, you came in when there'd already been a year and like 3 months of development. So maybe that video is interesting. Maybe not. No need to watch if you don't want to. Favorite type of task is when I get to delete without doing anything. Yeah, I love it. I gotta turn this music off. Okay, what are we doing? Oh yeah, this is pretty nice. I actually do kind of wonder what other people think about this. I want to put the soundtrack of Skeleseller on YouTube, but Skeleseller started as Idle Ascendance, and Idle Ascendance has one music track. And it's this. Should I put this in the soundtrack that I put on YouTube as well? Because it doesn't appear in Skeleseller. But it's music I made for the sake of the game. I think I'm going to put it on. Gotta run to pick up the family. Have a great rest of the stream. All right, yeah, thank you again. Take care. Drive safe. Watch it later when I'm back and needing distraction on the couch. Nice. Are you done with your Factorio craze? Yeah, why not? Just have it as a bonus at the end? Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Just call it a bonus track. Okay. I will do that. Should I? Okay, wait. Here's, I guess, the other question. So for the Skeleseller videos, I'm going to have Skeleseller gameplay. For Idle Ascendance, should I show Idle Ascendance gameplay? Because this is trash. People will be like, why did this video make it in here? Maybe I'll just put a big disclaimer over the top and say this never actually appeared in Skeleseller, but this is for the prototype of the game. I don't know. I'll have to write that down. Maybe put Idle Ascendance gameplay. Also add a disclaimer that this doesn't appear in Skeleseller. Although maybe I could put it somewhere in Skeleseller. You still play keyboard? Yeah. In fact, I bought a synth. I got this, the Arturia Mini Freak, and I made a lot of the final town track in Skeleseller using that. I will link that in, but then I'm gonna go take a break because ads are about to start anyway. Town Theme 5. So yeah, this was made pretty synth heavy. I'll be back in a little bit. I'll let ads run, and I'm gonna step away from my computer. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, for those who haven't seen this, you can type join in Twitch chat and then J and a number to jump. You can look at some examples here. J30 is to the right, J negative 45 is to the left. I'll be back in a bit. Hello again. All right, what did I miss in chat? Took a really long break from computers in general during the Christmas break, then got a bit sick. Lots of couch rotting lately. I don't know if you're still here, Galaxy Inferno, but I hope you feel better since the getting sick days. Close the game. All right, so let's run this tool, I guess. It's not like it's hard to do. There. And let's close this. So this should modify some files here. I'm gonna revert this one. Yeah, it did. Whoa, it modified like everything. I wonder why. But usually you just check these in and don't question anything. So let's do that. Run UID tool. Push Discord a bit more. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just be completely transparent here. Everything I've read online says that after launching your Steam game, you should get reviews. So the vehicle for that, I think, is going to be Discord. I'll probably just ping everyone at launch and be like, hey, the game's out. If you want to get it, get it. If not, that's totally fine. But if you do get it, please do leave a review, even if you dislike the game. I don't want people to just skew positive for no reason. I want them to be honest still. But I do need, I think, a volume of reviews. If you don't have even 10 reviews, then Steam doesn't push your game anywhere. So those first 10 are very important. And I know there's a bystander effect. If you were in a crowd of people and you're like, somebody call an ambulance, no one's going to call an ambulance because you don't actually designate a specific person. Well, in this case, I don't want to like call out specific people, but we need like 10 specific people somehow at some point to leave reviews. And ideally, it's within the first like couple of hours of the game launching. So anyway, being on Discord helps with that. Okay, now let's look through some issues. Well, check its Steam page, add it to my wish list. Oh, your wish list game? Yeah. I think that's helpful. The Steam page is there. Yeah, so wish list as just a like help this game out, I would not do it for that reason. I'd add it to your wish list because you're interested in the game and there's a chance you might get it at some point. So like don't treat it as like an upvote button. Treat it as truly like I actually want to buy this game. Because I don't think wish list numbers really matter too much. And I mean, imagine if like 1 million people just clicked it as a thumbs up button and I'm like, oh my God, tons of people want to buy this game. And I start planning things and then no one actually gets it because they were just like, I just want to support this guy. I'll leave one provided I'm able to. The only thing that would or could stop me would be work, kids, unforeseen emergency. Yeah, but you could take a vacation day, find a babysitter, and be in a nuclear bunker. I think it's reasonable to ask you to do those 3 things, Mitch. It's the Skeleseller launch, after all. Okay, I kind of want to merge this branch so it'll close out of some of these issues, but I guess let's just look through them anyway. Anyway, I do appreciate it. Sarcasm aside. All right, so what else? Save auto battle settings, that's done. Add fun events. I don't know if this is worth keeping as an idea here. This is kind of interesting. But I think the rest of this is not. Yeah. I still want to take time to add some fun to the game. But I don't think these specific ideas resonate with me, and I don't want an open issue for this. I want to make sure we've gone through the open issues first before getting to like pure polished tasks. All right. Yeah, we're going to try to close as many issues as we can. I'm going to skip over some of these. How do I feel about this? I'm not going to do that right now. Consider adding a way to open the game menu without having to use a keyboard. I think the best thing is to add a faded out gear button at the upper right that becomes opaque when you hover over it. It would just be a mouse-based proxy for the settings menu. Is this worth doing, I wonder? It'd probably be pretty small. Yeah, Skeleseller is pretty unique. You can try the demo if you want, and then based on that, wishlist the game maybe. I mean, it's not bad to have it on your wishlist anyway, I guess, but like the demo is freely available right now. And it's a pretty good slice through the game. It's about 30 to 45 minutes probably. So what I'm thinking here is we just do this inside the, well, I guess inside the UI actually. And I go add in a button which would show up on top of most things, but not everything. Would it show up on top of the dialogue thing? It would probably not. Nor that. Down menu notifier, top of scene nodes. Use add nodes that should appear below most UI elements. Top of scene. What do we add here? Yeah, what are we? Waiting for first battle and a banner. Well, I think we'd put it right beneath that. So let me add in a button here. And this is going to say S on it. And then I'm going to anchor it to the upper right. And we're going to make it slightly opaque. So I just want to see what this looks like in the context of the game. Because this will be a settings button. And I'm not even certain that I like this. We could put a setting in the settings menu saying to hide the settings button for if you know that you can press escape. No one's going to ever talk about that. Yeah, so I mean, it's too tiny up there. But yeah, the general idea is fine. I don't know. Is this worth doing? You can always press escape. Actually, you can only press escape right now to open this. But in what scenario would you be playing? No, sorry, that's not true. You can also press a button on your controller. So I don't think there's any case you can play this game where you wouldn't be able to access the menu. It just doesn't tell you how to access it if you're on a keyboard. But I think it's pretty natural that you'd try escape. I wonder if there's anyone out there. No one's been confused by this, I think. Actually, has anyone been confused? Keyboard dies, can't close game. Yeah, there are scenarios in which... Sorry. Okay, let me back up. How often do you think someone would be bothered by this? Because I think I did get feedback on this. I'd appreciate a mini-map telling me quickly find stuff, click to warp, also add a gear or hamburger button to bring up the escape menu. Zoom and opening the pause menu need the on-screen keyboard or custom controller mappings. And now we have custom controller mappings. I'm not going to do this, I think. I'm a bit torn on this one because my prior comment seems pretty reasonable that I'm going to opt not to do this task. I just don't think many people will be impacted, and we do have controller support now. Yeah. I wrote this here. The question is, will this reasonably get done in the next month? If so, do it. If not, close it. Like, it's just not, it's not so pressing. No one's been like, I just can't enjoy the game. I can't press escape. And I know that's a straw man of what would actually happen. It's a death by 1,000 cuts scenario. I did this already. Make UI and town sounds consistent. I don't think I've done this yet. Oh, man. Yeah, man. That's weird. Why'd these change? I ran the UID tool. I'm going to restart everything. Because there shouldn't be any changes there for this stuff. All right, this one's kind of tedious. So how do we do this? We got to find every town sound and every UI sound. Oh, man. I mean, it's not hard to find. We just search for this. And then we search for this. So there are all the UI sounds. There are all the town sounds. Now let's delete all the blank lines. That only kind of worked. Yeah, that's good. And then same thing over here. All right, so we have 19 and 36. So we have 55 of these. You go through every single one of these and find out if it's been categorized correctly. I guess maybe all the UI ones are already correct, unless we use them for something else. All right, let's start at the beginning. So twist. Oh, this doesn't even exist anymore. Okay, well, that one's done then. Reroll perks. That one's done. Yep. All right, well, this probably isn't too bad. Shav Alton, thank you for the resub. Happy 38 months. And thanks for your comment on my YouTube video. Similar to the W in sword. I remember that conversation. I remember thinking, I have no idea what Mitch is talking about. This plays twice. Once when you defeat an elite, and once when you win challenge mode. All right, we got to read the tooltips in the game because this is going to be a mess. So it says, town sounds controls the volume of sounds that happen outside of battle that you don't explicitly trigger, and controls the volume of sounds that you explicitly trigger. So then this technically is a town sound, not a UI sound, because you don't trigger either of these things. Yeah. So then we need to recategorize this. Oh boy, this is such a tedious task, but I think this is worthwhile for the people who are annoyed by the sounds. They're going to want to change this. Then again, is it worthwhile? Am I just convincing myself of this? I don't know how long it's going to take. Probably like 30 minutes. I'm torn. Let's do it for a few of these and see how long it might take. Because even if we just categorize a few, any of this is better than nothing. So audio, sound, we put this into town. And then we recategorize it over here too. It's not like it's hard to do. There, that's done. Is UI sound now sets to false. Okay, toggle lever on, that is something you do. So we don't have a problem with that. Toggle lever off is something you do. That's also fine. What next? Level up adventurer is something you do. We got to make sure it's only ever used for that. Yep, cool. Okay, skill up, again, should be something you do. We do it in 3 places. Yeah, because you get skills, you get perks, you get bone mode perks. Give customer desired item, yep, that's only for you. Dismiss notification is presumably only for you, yep. Skill down. Okay, so pretty much all the UI stuff sounds like it was fine. This is okay. Why do we have this in 3 places? Oh, reset all. Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. Got it. All right, fine. We're done. What next? Click sign. I mean, I'm guessing from the name that you have to do this. Yeah. Manually pick up item. Again, probably the same thing. You have to do this. Oh, it also technically plays during the outro. I don't care about that one, though. Yeah, I don't care about that one. How do you feel about larger companies when they ask you to get free evaluation data from devices and systems, such as metrics or metadata? So I think there are a couple of considerations. One, what do I feel about the company? So for example, if it's VLC, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like, go for it, you know? Same thing with something like OBS. These are products, not companies, I guess, but you get the idea. Like, yeah, these are fine. 2 is, while it probably solely exists to make money, it does help improve the product. Or at least ostensibly it does. I guess if you're on YouTube and someone realizes like, oh, hey, no one's really clicking the thumbs down button, they might delete it. And they didn't delete the thumbs down button, but they started hiding how many downvotes a video has. And that was a pretty stark shift in how I like trusted videos. So yeah, I think it all depends. But yeah, if you feel good about the company, I don't see why not. I guess the third thing is trust, right? Like, is it anonymous data? But then also it's like, does the check mark even do anything? If you don't trust that they'd collect anonymous data correctly, oh, that's a different kind of trust. You trust that they coded it well, I suppose. But then they could just override your consent at all. Hey, Amy. Answer rule is a hard no from me. If they want that data, they can pay for it regardless of size. Well, if you think about it, maybe they are paying for it because like they're probably not going to do something like we'll pay you a penny for your data. Like the transaction fee to give you that penny or some amount of pennies is not worth it. So what they could have done is they could have offset their price. based on enough people opting in. This is nuts. I don't think a company actually would do this, but that's how they, if they wanted to, that's how they'd probably have to do it. They can literally have a tester group, etc. Yeah, but that group needs to be representative of all of their potential users, edge cases that might exist, and for features where you can't necessarily get the test group to do. So as an example here, in VS Code, like I've colored this top of the tab pink. Maybe, this is a pretty big hypothetical, so bear with me for a bit. Maybe Microsoft wants to know how many people are using that feature. If you got a test group, the test group might be like, well, we're 100 people. No one ever even knew that feature existed, so they're not going to use it. So now we don't know, we don't get any data on it. And then they find out like, oh, as a whole, like 0.1% of the entire population is using it. For you to sample that 0.1% correctly means you need at least 1,000 people. And assuming that there's an even distribution, you might have sampled a bunch of non-technical people who never go into the settings at all. And then you have no testers for it. So yeah, I think it's a reasonable thing for businesses to ask. I think it should be opt-in. And then if you choose not to opt in, I think that's fine. Yeah. Because enough people probably will opt in. There are products where I think it matters a little bit more for the end user. Like I worked on Android Studio, and on Android Studio, if you opted in these metrics, product managers would look at these metrics then and be like, okay, here's what we should or shouldn't do about this feature. And I think that is in the user's best interest, because Android Studio is not a monetized product. It's just feeding into the Android ecosystem. So if there was a feature that was bad and people noticed the bugs about it, then the company can choose to prioritize, like, should we just overhaul this feature? Like, we're getting way more bugs for this than we are for something else. Those sorts of things. Hey, Juicebox Hero, how you doing? Default seems to be opt-out in larger apps. Yeah, I think this is kind of a dark pattern that happened. Actually, you know what? Oh my God, I wanted to talk about this on stream. Let me see if I can find a picture of this. It's a point of sale system with... All right, this might be impossible to find a picture of, in which case I'll just draw something really fast. This picture kind of suffices. Okay, let me load this up. Okay, so this struck me the other day. Here's a picture of something kind of unrelated, but in the US, it's really common for you to go to, let's say, a coffee shop and you buy a pastry and they flip a screen over to you that has you type in your tip. Fine so far. This is not going where you think it's going. When you get done with that, there's a screen that says, do you want a receipt? And you can pick no, print, email, or maybe both. Again, reasonable so far. So I pick email, and now you get to a screen that looks like this. But there's a little trick here. So they have an input for your name, and then below it, they have a checkbox that says, email me promotional stuff. And what I realized is when you tap to type in your email, it obscures this with an autocomplete thing. So I start typing in, adam@skeleseller.com or whatever, and then it like fills in the domain kind of. And then you press send. The send button is not obscured. It's over here. And then you never notice that this was even checked by default. And that's how I think a lot of people end up with emails that they never intended to sign up for. And there's the CAN Spam Act in the US that says there are certain requirements you need to meet in order to even send mail to people. And part of it is having an unsubscribe link right in the email. And when you go through that unsubscribe flow, it says, like, what's your reason for unsubscribing? And one of them is something like, I never signed up. And another one is something like, I don't want these anymore. Or I don't know, price, or I'm no longer a customer, I don't live there. Those sorts of things. But the I never signed up, I'm always like, but people actually did sign up, right? And now I'm realizing how this can happen in real life. Like, this was a common enough pattern. And it happened to me the other day, but I noticed the check mark and unchecked it. And that's when I turned to my wife and I'm like, oh my God, there's a dark pattern right in front of us. Yeah. So anyway, I found that surprising. I suspect it's only truly effective like 60% of the time. Yeah. And in order to find out that it's not being respected, you'd probably have to examine network traffic. It's not practical for someone to look into all that stuff. Maybe a technical person could, but yeah, a non-technical person wouldn't have any idea. That's checked by default. Definitely illegal here. Yeah, it might be illegal here too, and just who's going to do anything about it. That's kind of how I look at it. Maybe you're joining a big company. Are you still there, or Skeleseller full time? I'm not still there. Yeah. So I don't know if you saw this command from earlier, but I think it says, yeah, I was working at Google, and then there's a Google command, and that's another rabbit hole you can go down if you want to look into that. I usually use a Gmail alias. I can see who sold the data. Yeah, but in this particular case, I guess what I'm trying to get at is like, you as a user did leave a checkmark check saying send me stuff. It's just there was a dark pattern that led you to leaving it checked. Two dark patterns, I guess. One, it was opt out, and two, it was obscured by an autocomplete dialog. Double opt in. Wow. I hadn't even heard of that until just now, but that sounds like a good idea. Yeah. Well, organ donation, I think, is very different. I think there's maybe more of a reason that you'd change that to opt out, maybe. But yeah, for like email me stuff, that's something I think should be opt out by default. Hey, Sinistella. Forever hate Firestone because their unsubscribe link in the email footer didn't work. Firestone, the tire company, or Firestone, the Hearthstone deck tracker? I'm guessing you mean the tire company. Yeah. Huh, interesting. Okay. I just mean the default matters. Yes. I agree. Yeah, no, the other one's very niche. I was guessing you meant the tire company. Do you ask to opt in for organ donation after you buy coffee? Can we have your liver, please? Yes. Okay, so what did I just finish with? Manually pick up. Oh, yeah, that was used in the outro, but we don't care about that. Okay, that's fine. Manually drop item. What are we doing for this? Play potion drops on. I don't care about that one. Drop item. I think this is only when you do it. Yes. So I'm not going to worry about that. Button hover. Sound has always been a little bit annoying, but I think this is only done in the right spots. Mouse enter, that's fine. Yeah, all this stuff is fine. All right, what other UI stuff do we have? Button click, probably fine. Yeah. UI decline. What plays this? The Enchanter Den? That's the only place? What? Really? And when does that play? I don't even think I remember this. When you have any error casting, it makes a bonk sound. All right, let's listen for that. That's a bonk sound. So is there anywhere else in the game that should have that? Oh, you know what could? Oh, I didn't think about this. When you try dragging a potion and there's already too much stuff in here. Oh, that'd be really good. Okay, let's do that. I'll write that down. Play UI decline when you can't put an item in a destination. Only do this when also creating a notification though, so that the player knows why that happened. It would be great for the extractor and the key grinder, if nothing else. Although we may want to throttle that. Yeah, I don't know. Wearing the same shirt in the Google video. Yeah, I mean, I only have so many shirts. And I make more videos than I have shirts. Hey, who cares? Starting to be required by some states for texting? Let's just turn off the music so I can hear everything else. It's forever embedded in your brain. Okay, so we only play that there. What else? Intro, ask about quest. Should technically be a town sound, but I think our default settings wouldn't allow this to sound the same way as it does right now. I don't know where that goes though. Ooh, also whatever I just changed. What did I just change? Quest clear. It went from UI to town. Okay, so we got to go figure out the sound levels by default. First time sound settings. Yeah, there it is. Where are the volume levels? There they are. UI is 0.8 and town is 0.8. Okay, so they're the same, so we don't have any problem here. That's convenient. And where do we leave off in terms of UI sounds? The intro stuff. Yeah, all of this is technically wrong, right? Intro, ask about quest. Oh, and one other thing I need to check is quest clear. Is this used anywhere else? No. Okay, this is tricky. Is it weird there are vendors searching me up on LinkedIn? I get notifications saying they've searched me up, but that's about it. Probably not. I don't think that's that strange. I mean, if they're like doing 10 searches a day, I think that's strange. But yeah, if they just looked you up, I don't think that's probably that strange. It's on the highest executive function I've ever seen. Have you ever considered making context about how you do it? Yeah, I don't know if it's a conscious thing. I think well, other than the taking notes part. Yeah. There's something I was kind of pondering the other day, which was something I've always tried to have as a policy is like learn from my mistakes. So what have I done in the past? What are the ways that my personality has rubbed someone the wrong way? How do I improve? And I think it gets into this like improvement loop that happens. And I wonder how much that in general could potentially help other people. Like I think there needs to be some amount of introspection plus reflection plus actual like effort toward improving. I don't know how much that has to do with the executive function though. But my point was basically like, if I could have done something better, I would hopefully try to do something better. Sounds like you made someone mad with an email. Could be that. Wonder how illegal it is to hide blatantly morally corrupt questions like that within company legalese. The liver questions about anesthesia and everything. I think, you know what I'm noticing more and more? A lot of any sort of like legal matters or policies, a lot of this comes down to what happens when things go south. So as a simple example, you hire a contractor to repair your stove and that contractor breaks something or never shows up. What do? You don't probably sue them right away. Like it depends on the extent of the damage, like how much you want to get involved with the legal system. And yeah, maybe suing them in the end is actually the right decision to make. But let's say you don't do that and they just keep making minor mistakes the rest of their career. Just nothing's going to happen, right? And yeah, I think that's what a lot of this comes down to. And for bigger companies, I think it's harder. And I think there's a lot of money that goes into legal processes. And they steal your liver. Yeah. You wake up in a bathtub with no liver and a coffee in your hand. Yeah. Okay. So I was torn on this bit where we have all these intro things at the bottom. Where are they? Here. Intro, ask about quest. Say yes to quest. So does it hover and confirm? Do we use it anywhere else? No. No. No, we don't. Okay. All of these should be town sounds because you did not add them. So I need to move all three of those. So let's go find them. Hover 05. Gotta be very careful about how we do this. So we're putting this into town. Is there an intro? No, there's just an outro. Kind of weird. I did not add an intro. All right, then confirm 03. Move to town. And then denied 03. Move to town. Okay, good. Now we move all of these things. Done. All right, what next? That was everything. Okay, so all the UI sounds have been looked at. Now we have to look at all of the town sounds, and there were more of those, which is not fun. Some of these are probably going to need to get split in two. So there's a town version and a UI version, but let's just go through them all. Hey, Simon, thanks for the raid. I always hate when my first reaction is, let me see if I've seen this person before. But that is my reaction right now. Let me take a quick look. Strangely, Twitch isn't loading. What's going on? Huh, your channel won't load for me. Oh, there it goes. Just here to learn algorithms. I do not think I've seen you before. Yeah, how'd your stream go today? I see leak code in your tags. Were you working on leak code stuff today? I had Demon Puke. And welcome everyone here. I'm working on a game called Skeleseller. And I'm going to launch it in whatever the title says, 48 days. That'll be March 17th, but I'll give you a quick overview of the game for anyone who hasn't seen this. But it is a very casual town management game. You hire adventurers, you send them into battle, and they fight automatically for you. And when they win, which I will just cheat right here, you earn items, which you then stock into your shops and sell. So yeah, very relaxed, very chill. It's a turn your brain off kind of game. And it comes out relatively soon, although there is also a Steam demo out now. Just vibe coding? What were you vibe coding? I literally got another pop-up that took the focus. Yeah. All right, we got to go through all these sound effects. So yeah, what I'm doing right now is we have two sound sliders in the game. We have UI sounds and we have town sounds. And the only difference between these are sounds you trigger, and these are sounds you don't trigger. So I need to make sure they're categorized correctly, because if someone is really annoyed by the UI sounds and they go into here and they're like, okay, let me turn that down. And then random stuff from the town is playing at the lower volume now. You'd be like, why'd that happen? I didn't trigger those sounds. So that's what we're looking into. And yeah, it's just unfortunate. As this is only used here in item sale. I don't think you ever trigger item sale yourself. What is this? Oh. I see. Okay, so you do trigger it yourself when you harvest an apple. Well. Fine. So that means we need to manifest another one of these. Harvest. I guess like click apple. So this is the town sound manifested as a UI sound. Yeah. In fact, I wonder if we could just override that something as a UI sound here. Like we tell it at the call site instead of manifesting two different sounds. That'd be a lot better. We might have a way to do this. Vibe coding a type racer clone. Oh, cool. Is it just to get experience vibe coding, or do you want a specific feature out of type racer? Because one of the things that I think is kind of interesting about vibe coding stuff is it really lowers the floor for effort. And I think for any tools you might need or anything, yeah, if you did want to add a feature, it's like, it's nice to try that out and then just get the result and not have to spend a bunch of time doing it. I haven't vibe coded stuff too much myself. Yes, there's a volume percent thing. Then we get into this and we figure out whether it's a UI sound from here. Okay. So yeah, we could say bool force. Actually, I guess we need two booleans for this, which means we should probably pass an enumeration. 1 for don't override, 2 for override as town, and 3 for override as UI. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy enough with that, I guess. Public enum sound category override. None override as town, override as UI. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm fine with that. All right, so now we put this in here. And then we say is UI sound is equal to the category override being exactly override as UI, or that its sound data said that it was UI. Otherwise, it's the town. So now we just do that. All right, I think that's pretty reasonable. No, that's not reasonable. Because we have to say, and not that we have overridden it as town. Yeah, there we go. I was like, I knew we missed something here. And then, yeah, instead of doing not and whatever I just did, we can do it like that. All right, so let's just kind of work our way through this with the different, what is it, like six possible scenarios we have. So we have a UI sound and we pass in none. It should be UI. I guess let's just say true. UI sound and we pass in override as UI and override as town would be false. And then the same matrix here with town sounds. None would be false, override as UI would be true, and override as town would be false. Okay, so are we doing that? So category override. If it's override as UI, it's true. So this case is covered and this case is covered. Otherwise, it is a sound. It is UI sound to begin with, and it's not override as town. So that's this. Yeah, and then the and not would then cover this case, this case. This is the first one's false. That's false. Yeah, cool. Okay. I think we covered everything. It has been quite the journey, Ultramark. It has been. And thanks for watching those videos. Those were some of the longer ones. All right, so now we can override this, which means anywhere that I manifested two sounds wouldn't need to manifest as two sounds. So like this, for example, can be deleted. And wherever we play the item sale sound, play sound, sound ID dot item sale, we can now do sound category override. Won't this fail because it won't be able to find the function? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think we need to just say which default param we're using. Type local ghost. I like that. Oh, except for I never even passed this through, did I? No, I did not. Category override? Oh, what am I doing? And now we pass this in as sound, what I name is category override. All right, the name sound category override does not exist. I guess because it's in town sound system. Did I mess something up here? What's going on? Cannot convert. Oh, because this doesn't exist. Oh. Now we're good. Hey, Taryn. I thought collect was a UI sound because it's triggered by the user. So there are two different cases that we have here. The sound itself that we're looking at is item sale. And most of the time, item sales are customers buying things, which makes them a town sound. But, oh, and this doesn't even need this here. But when you, oh no, this doesn't need this here. When you click an apple in the game, since you're the one clicking it and it gives you money, it's got to be a UI sound, which means I meant to write this as UI. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. No, that's what you're saying. I just misread. Yeah. My bad. You're right. Yeah. And then I should write down why this exists. We manifest sounds as either being town sounds if not manually triggered, or UI sounds if manually triggered. However, sometimes you want to use the same sound effect for both without manifesting two sounds. Item sales are usually from customers, but the same sound plays when you click an apple. In that case, you would use this enumeration and yeah. All right, so we did it there, but I did not take a look at how many of these are duplicated. Can we easily do that? Yeah, we should be able to, right? I should just be able to do this and search for that and then find any that are copied. So if we search for this, we can delete that and the rest of the line. If we search for this, we can delete that and the rest of the line. So now we just have, oh, no, that broke. All right, what did I do wrong? Did the dot wave get cut off from any of these? Oh, it did. How? It was on fire explosions small. Oh my god, because I don't have word wrap. Okay, well, whatever. Now let's do this again then. Okay, and then this. Okay, and then this. No, I messed this up again. Oh man. I don't understand how I botched this. Yeah. Oh, that'll work. And then just make sure that any of these. Nice. Okay, great. We finally got it. So now what I need to do is check to see how many of these are duplicated. And for that, I think it's easiest to, well, no, actually, we can check to see if there are duplicates by doing this. So there are right now 100 lines. If we select them all and then just make them unique, there are 3 duplicates. So now we need to find the 3 duplicates. Should be pretty simple. Because we'll see the same line here twice. Yeah, here's one. There's another one. And then I somehow missed the third one somewhere. UI decline. Aha, yes. Cool, thank you. Okay, so these 3, let's take those and this one. All right, so Earth O2 modified. So it's rock throw cast and it's boulder cast. Oh, but their pitch changes. Okay, so these are actually, this one's fine. Decline is maybe not. The sound. Oh, in this case, they're used for different scenarios. So if we ever wanted to change them for that reason, we could. So I guess that's technically fine too. And then typewriter low is used for toggle on and off, but we use different pitches. Yeah, okay, fine. That's fine. All these are fine. Oh, yeah. That's nice, Stockton. Yeah, I didn't know that existed. I end up just doing unique and then, yeah, searching for the differences. I don't have the scenario very often. Okay, so then we don't have any duplicates that could be entirely deleted. And now all we need to do is look through the rest of the town sounds and make sure that they're all categorized correctly, which should now be easier to fix if they aren't. So I looked through by cell. Yeah, unfortunately, this is not the fastest thing in the world. Hire adventure is probably only used as a town sound. But aren't you the one hiring the adventure? That means this should be a UI sound. Yeah, you're the one who does it. Hired adventure should only happen from a button click, right? Guild master on hired adventure. What? I'm just going in circles, aren't I? On dialogue option press. Yeah, it's you doing this. So that one's done. All right, what's this one? Water rune interact. Build enchanter. That sounds like something you do. So let's put that as a UI sound. Hey, pink waffles. What am I making? I'm making a game called Skeleseller. There is a Steam page here, which has all the relevant information. It's got the trailer and screenshots and stuff and a description. So I do suggest checking that out. But yeah, feel free to ask questions if you have any. All right, this one's done. Bubble cast. I think this is for making the fishing pond, which is also something that you do. Yeah, build fishing pond. Okay, so is UI sound would be true. The thing that tripped me up as I was making all these to begin with is these are things that happen in the town, but they're a result of you doing them in the town. So I don't know. This will probably throw some people off, but whatever. Or what is building? Just the sound of building anything? Yeah. Is UI sound true? Cool. Discard item. Item disappeared. Okay, this is a town sound, so we don't have to do anything there. Generic portal teleport. Augment portal. This is you always doing this. This is already marked as a UI sound. It's in the town folder. This is the other problem that we have. Some of these are UI sounds that are in the wrong folder. So like, should I go change those, I wonder? Wow, get in line, cakes first. Will I hire you? No, I'm not looking to hire people right now. And yeah, the keyboard is a corn keyboard. And it's funny, it's ergonomic, but you'll almost always see the right half higher than the left half on the camera. And like, that's true on my desk too. It's not just a perspective trick. So I gotta be more mindful of that. You think you've learned from the difference of these sounds and would do it different next time? Basically scoping these sounds differently or having lines of separation or duty on purpose in the future? I think that this is tied to the conversation we had earlier about sharing metrics. I won't know whether this was effective unless I happen to see someone play who's like, oh my God, these UI sounds are annoying. And they go to the menu and they lower just the UI sounds. Otherwise, I feel good knowing that I provided this feature, but I won't know how many people used it. And I'm not collecting metrics on this stuff. So it's hard for me to get the feedback loop on, was it the right decision? I think it costs very little to do upfront. It's not a bad idea. Like Godot provides different sound buses, so categorizing them isn't too bad from the engine perspective. I see there are Wave and MP3. I think there should be very few MP3s. Yeah, there are only 2. And the only reason that those 2 MP3s exist is because these were taken from a CC0 sound repository, and they're used in exactly two instances in the entire game. One is for flipping a coin in the outro, and the other is for popping a bottle open so they can drink from it. And those only happen typically for each player once if they even make it that far. So it's not a sound that's constantly playing. You wouldn't notice the, I guess, potentially minor quality loss in it being an MP3, and other stuff's playing at the same time anyway. So yeah, I would share my metrics with you. Wow, thanks. I want a show of hands. Who will give me their metrics? Talking about your keyboard on my stream earlier today. Did I know you streamed? I don't recall, but I shall follow you. Anything good in the conversation? That was more of a pain for you to find or code certain ones different. That's why I was curious. Well, it's a pain now, but I really should have just done this as I went. And then it wouldn't have been a pain. So, wait. Let me get this straight. This plays here. It's a UI sound, so we're done with that one, I guess. Generic portal open is for click portal, which is presumably a UI sound. Yeah. Power up. What is this? Leveling up? Guild supplies collected. This is not a UI sound. Yeah, so it's already correct. Decline. This is in the outro, so presumably it's already fine for the outro. I don't even really need to look into this. Yeah, this is fine. Burn loop. This is for when the character gets angry. This is also not a town sound, or not a UI sound. That's fine. Outro coin flip. This is a town sound. It's good. Drink, swallow, and bottle pop are both fine. Single heartbeat. It's in the intro. That's fine. Cast spell. This one's a bit tricky because you can cast a spell and the game can cast a spell. Right, I'm pretty sure this gets called from, yeah, auto casting. So technically we'd base it on whether the spell was auto cast or not. Do I want to split hairs to that level? Let's come back to that one. can be both manual or automated. That's because you're not a large company. So if I hired like 99 people, you'd be like, well, that's it. I'm taking my metrics away from that guy. I wouldn't consider spellcasting a UI sound. Yeah, the differentiation though in this is just, did you trigger it or not? So we write this in the, let me see if I can find this. It's weird. Where is this? Yeah, here it is. So this says controls the volume of sounds that happen outside a battle that don't trigger, that you don't trigger. And then this is controls volume of sounds that you do trigger. So you are triggering the spellcast, even though it's not a UI thing necessarily. Although it is really the UI, it's the interface you have into the world. And yeah, for that reason, I think I'd want to change that, but we'll come back to that afterward. All right, so cast spell we looked at. Recycle item. This is another one of those things that could happen in either way. Yeah. Same with this. I don't know what we're going to do about that. What's this one? Cook food. It's the same with this too. Yeah. So sounds that can be manual or automated. This one, and this one. Build recycler very likely cannot be anything other than manual. All right, quest accepted. Quest accepted plays in two different cases, right? Intro accept quest, intro battle. What? What are you doing here? I'm guessing nothing calls this. Huh, nothing calls this. All right, we'll delete that. I'm going to write a note, make sure the intro still works. I deleted a function that shouldn't be called. Wait, what does that mean? I'm guessing it means I have to go. I don't think I've seen that. Glad to see you. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, take care, Altamar. Good to see you too. Yeah, my stream schedule is a little bit weird as of late because I am toward the end of the game production schedule. So I think marketing is pretty important, and the marketing stuff is hard to do on stream. Then again, I'm just a little bit of a mess right now. I feel like I'm torn between doing development tasks and marketing stuff. And as you can see, I don't think this is probably the most important thing, but I just want to close out some of these tasks that we have. So if I'm not mistaken, this is used in two spots still. Yeah, and here it is a town sound, and here it is a UI sound. So sound, what is it called? Category override. Yeah, there we go. Quest completed, on the other hand, should only ever be a town sound. Yep, that is. Scythe is presumably when you harvest stuff, which is presumably both a manual. Oh, it only plays, what? If it's not auto harvest, then play the sound. Oh, also a worker harvest. Okay, yeah, this is another one of those both cases. I don't know what we're gonna do about that. I don't know what we're gonna do about any of these. This is probably all intro stuff, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think we use sound effects anywhere else. Shoot arrow. Oh wow. Okay. That's a town sound. No, that's a battle sound. Why is this in the? It's not even there. What? Did I search for the wrong thing? I think I did. Oh, or we use the same sound effect in multiple places. We do. But yeah, it's for different things. So that's fine. This is footstep grass. This is only in the intro. that's categorized correctly. This is presumably the exact same thing. Yep. Step wood. Again, same thing, I'm guessing. No, this is click sign. That's already a UI sound. That's fine. Pick item. Quest item turned in. This is another one that's both. I think I'm not going to do anything about these. And if someone complains, then I don't know. Maybe we just always categorize it as UI. And then it'll be quieter even when a skeleton does it. Guild supply turned in. Yeah, same thing here. Well, I assume so. I didn't actually check. I probably should. Yeah, that's water elemental damage. Place item in extractor. That's another one that's both. No, you know, it's probably best to categorize them as town sounds then, I think. Yeah, maybe that's the policy we take. Open treasure chest is also technically both. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I didn't make a call on this originally, because I would have changed a bunch of code for that. Opened treasure chest? There are two sounds? There's a click sound and then like a sound. I think that's, yeah, I think it's fine then. Oh, wait. No. Hold on. This is technically always a town sound. Yeah. Now what's this? Oh, that's opened. Yeah, I'm done with that then. Acquire quest item. I don't know what that even means. It's never used. Yeah, it's never used. Okay, let's delete it from the game entirely. Use item 05.wave. Let's go find that. What does that sound like? What's the number? 055 use item. It sounds kind of nice. But I guess we'll delete it. Right, nothing's using this anymore? Nope. All right, we're almost done. I'll read chat in a sec. I want to make sure that I'm actually done with this task. This is turn in item, grind key. Yeah, you can technically do this too. What is it manifested as? I'll look at that later, I guess. Touch garbage slime. What a funny name for a sound. Clickable area. Yeah, so this is a manual sound. Is UI sound true? Touch chef slime. I'm guessing the exact same thing. Is this only ever used when you, yep, when you click? Is UI sound true? And we have click NPC and click enchanter. Those would better be manual because I don't know why they wouldn't be. Yep. Yeah, okay. So we'll just do this for both of them at the same time. Is UI sound true? Okay, so everything's been categorized. I think doing nothing is the right call as well. Seems to be more work than it's worth it. Yeah. Or at least I think the nothing in this case is a very, very close thing to nothing, which is categorize them as town sounds with the assumption that players would be more annoyed by the things automatically happening than the things that they triggered. Does that make sense? Hold on, let me make sure that makes sense. So let's think about this. What's more likely to bother people? Town sounds or UI sounds? Town sounds are sounds you don't trigger. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe this is dumb. I had some logic for why I think it would be UI sounds, and that if you change this, yeah, maybe we just don't do anything. Are they all categorized the same way anyway? Let's just take a look at that, maybe. This is town. I recycle item on here twice. That was probably a mistake. Well, who knows what that was supposed to be then. That's a town one. That's a town one. Town. Town. Yeah, they're all town sounds now. I think I'll just write this down that's... Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're good then. All right, so let's run the game. Make sure everything's actually working. And we deleted one sound that didn't need to exist. The code changes all look fine. Except for, what is that? Override as UI. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What do we do? I guess go play all of these sounds. Okay, let's do it. So, I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to do, right? Start a new game. So hire adventurer is the first one. Let's crank up the master volume and all of the effects. All right, so I hire an adventurer. Cool. Now I build the fishing pond. Cool. Now I build a wooden building. That didn't seem right. It's categorized as a UI sound, but let me turn that way down. Oh, no, it is right. Okay. I thought it was too loud. All right, what next? Defeated elite. Let's go do that. It's a little bit loud. All the intro stuff, we're going to run that soon. Build recycler. It's a splat sound. And what else? Touch garbage slime, touch chef slime, and click NPC and enchanter. Yep. Click NPC and click enchanter. So cool. This sound is only there for when you click this character, which you only ever do once because then you learn how this works. But it's a cool sound. I had a weird feeling of deja vu. Happened earlier this week when I said I didn't have sleep. Yeah, sleep controls so much of our lives. I don't just mean like we sleep for a long time, but if you don't sleep, then the rest of your life just gets worse. Sounds really well done. Yeah, thank you. I can't really take credit for almost any of these because I didn't make any of them myself. I helped for one of them, but it was just an amalgamation of like 4 other sounds, and Dark had already done the foundational work. All right, so everything's working except that I didn't test the intro. So let's go do that. How do we do that? Debug feature flags. False. Okay. So we're just going to watch the intro, and the sounds should hopefully be fine. Sounds so funny. I think that's it for sounds. There's some grass footsteps, I think. How long can I go without upgrading Mac OS? Because I've heard bad things about, is it Tahoe? I think it's coming up. Anyone's garbage. Can I change it to a sound effect of me going whoop? All right. What was weird about that is I had the music turned all the way down. I don't think I've ever watched the intro with no music on. But yeah, everything seemed like it was working. So let's turn everything down now and quit the game. All right, so what bug did we just fix? This one? Categorize sounds correctly. Fixes this. I'll write my notes in that issue. Okay, so here are the notes we're going to write. Notes. I did not move all of the UI or town-specific sounds to the appropriate folders. It just seems like a waste of time right now. For example, let's at least give an example so I don't know what I don't question what I meant in the future. Touch garbage slime. Garbage slime is UI sound true, but exists in the town folder. Okay, so that's note number one. Note number two is there are several sounds. These. I mean, technically we should put backticks around those, right? Which can play in both contexts, town or UI, depending on whether you trigger it or a worker does. In all such cases, I took the easy way out and categorized them as town sounds. We could have used the new, what's that thing called? Town place sound to override as necessary, but I don't think it's worth the time. Then we commit this and we get the commit hash and we put that into this after doing that. Cool. And now we just comment, we don't close this. Nice. Could have used, not use. Thank you. All right, so delete that. And now this one, play UI decline when you can't put an item in a destination. Okay, let's close out all these tabs. So can't put an item in a destination. We say something like the farm has seeds. Could have sworn we said seeds on all plots or something. Oh, already has. I didn't put the already there. Okay, yeah, so this is it. So this is the reason why something won't be accepted. And somewhere we created notification about this. Where's that happen? Oh, I guess let's just put a breakpoint here and find out. Yeah. Hey, Raimo. So, I've only read about the controversy of the macOS updates online. But Raimo, if you felt like someone only wouldn't install because of UI issues, would you still feel bad? And I'm guessing the answer is at least slightly yes. Hey, Jacomas. What did I do now? You didn't fix the entire operating system. What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, yeah, that's right. Testing if you have too many seeds on the farm already. All right, so put that there, get some more items, put one more, and then save. And then as soon as we put this here, it should produce an error. Yep, which goes to here, create ephemeral notification. Okay, so then here's what I want to do. I want to do town.placeSound. And what did I say? Should we UI decline? Let's see if that's annoying or not. If it's an audio issue, yeah. That's what I expect. Okay, just curious. Also, Raimo, what's the best new thing to happen to you in the last month? I'm curious. Because you told me about a couple things that were a brewing, and I don't know if you... I don't know how you feel now. Hey, Code Mechanic, and hey, Josh. right, so we're going to turn on the... Whoops, I didn't mean to click that. We're going to turn on the sounds. I want to reset these back to their defaults. Let's do that by... I guess the only way to do it is by modifying the local settings file. Local settings. I want to set these back to what they start at, which is 0.8. So if we just search for 0.8, we'll probably find it. Now search for CS. What? Maybe it's with a semicolon after it? Oh, maybe that's with an F. Aha. Except for not aha. Oh man, where'd I put this? Something sets it to 0.8. I don't know where it is. Oh man. All right, well, it's in like local settings, save first time. Yeah, here it is. We do this, we go down here. Okay, so here are all the numbers that I want. I want these numbers inside of this file. So master volume 0.6, music 0.8, effects 0.6, town, battle 0.8, UI 0.8. Okay. Now I load the game. Best new thing is learning to ride a motorcycle. Oh yeah, that was one of the things I was curious about. Having lots of fun. What's the longest you've driven in one stretch on your motorcycle? Is Apple's doing OS updates better than Microsoft? You know, I've only started using Windows now for gaming. And I feel like there's some things I've actually liked about Windows better, just out of the box, like window management. Although some people like virtual desktops, and I think Windows has those now, but they didn't for a while, except for with Power Toys. But yeah, when you only use something for gaming, there's not a lot to bother you. The one thing that bothers my friend, even though he also really uses it for gaming a lot, is his audio devices keep getting screwed up. I'm actually not sure why that's happening for him. Like every once in a while, he'll be talking through the wrong microphone or something. Yeah. About 60 miles? Okay. All right, I should just load from the save file. What am I doing? Yeah, so now it makes the sound. And it only does it while it's rate limited or whatever. The other way around, I mean, when it's not rate limited. That's actually really good. And that should work everywhere. So if you try putting this in the armor shop, it should make a sound too, right? Oh man, that's great. I don't know why I didn't think of this. That's such a nice addition. Wow. What happens if it's full though? Because that might be an annoyance. How about this? Let's turn down the volume a tiny bit on this one specific sound. Volume percent we'll set to like 0.8. It still should be audible, but it hopefully won't be as annoying. And then it start working again. Huh. I mean, to give some credit at least, it is possible that your hardware is just failing, right? And that it's not actually an OS thing. But I don't know. And either way, it sounds annoying. Yeah, I think that's less annoying now, the thing that I'm doing. It's just enough. Well, let me turn on my sound. Okay, well, it's louder. It does sound a little bit more annoying, I guess. In fact, I wonder if we should turn down the UI decline sound everywhere across the board. Where else does it happen? When you try casting a spell and you can't, and that's not rate limited? Alright, sorry, I know this is probably annoying for people to listen to, but I gotta test this a little bit more. So it does attenuate as you click it more. Yeah, I think this is fine. play bonk sound when items or invalid destinations. I don't know why I hadn't thought of this earlier. But it's nice audio feedback. Auditory, right? Auditory feedback. In addition to the notification that we already had. This is going to help a lot of people. I see so many people when they first get the farm, they're playing the game, right? And they don't understand how the farm works yet because they've only just started. And they put a potion here, and then another potion, and then another potion. And then they don't necessarily see this on the left side. It depends on how big their monitor is. But now that it makes a sound, they'll be like, oh, it didn't work. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, let's check that in. Did I didn't. That's done. Okay. All right, what's next? Prove item picking. I don't think this is going to happen. Oh, man. So silly. Okay, well, here's the problem. So let's say there's a bunch of items on the ground and you're hovering over this. It says liquid ice. If I click, it actually picked up the belt. And now it says cane and I click and it still picks up the belt. So grabbing the item you want is not super easy. Although it is always, I think, grabbing the one that's on top. Is that correct? Like if I click here, it should take the potion. If I click here, it should take the sword, maybe. It took the potion from behind? Was that really on top and I'm just not paying attention? That's why we have video. I guess you can't tell because the sprites don't overlap. It's the blank space of the potion sprite. It could be on top. Yeah, you wouldn't know. Still, it doesn't feel like... Is it picking whatever item has the tooltip active? No. So that's the other way we could approach this. We could approach this from let's just fix the tooltip maybe and have it do the same thing that happens when you click an item. Because right now it says mystery potion, but if I click, it's picking up this axe. Or the maul, I mean. I'll take a quick look, but I think if this takes any longer than 10 minutes, that we just don't bother fixing this. But, I mean, it is kind of a big deal. I don't know. All right, well, let's still investigate it for a little bit. Let's start with that. So, item hover handler is in charge of showing a tooltip when you mouse over an item. All right, let's go take a look at that. What do you do? On hover item. On show loot item tooltip. This is all ground stuff though. That's not instance slot. Something's wrong. Oh, that's a loot item. That's why. Okay, yeah. I just clicked the wrong thing. All right, here's the correct one. And there are ground items here. On hover item. How does this work? On hover ground item. So items get added on the ground. We add on hovers in order. But then they get arranged based on their Y coordinate, I think. I think this is a mess. Yeah, I think in order to fix this, we'd have to not rely on individual items being a source here, but instead having some like unified handler for this. I just don't think it's worth it. Because I think clicking is correct. What handles clicking? Item input handles clicking on those items. Or is it the player held item? What makes that work? Yeah. Track the last hovered item and only allow one to be outlined at a time. Huh. Yeah, I'm inclined to not do anything about this. Are these correct even? There are other problems with opening dialogues. Dropping an item onto a shopkeeper will trigger the drop zone and the NPC's dialogue. I don't think that's true anymore. So if I click over here, yeah, that's not true. And then what about this? Click an item on the ground, then click the garbage slime, but where another item on the ground is overlapping, it'll open the slime's dialogue. Is that true? No. No, I don't think either of these are problems anymore. Put this for all of these. There. Oh man. All right, I don't think this is a problem either. Let's get the lever. No, it's not. All right, so my idea was, what if we had, instead of individual ground items listening, we had like the town listening for where you clicked, and then check to see if there's I just don't think it's worth solving. Yeah. I think this will take an outsized amount of time for the amount of benefit we'll get. And I'm not even sure how we would solve this. The part I'm torn about is that picking up items is a core part of the game. Yeah, the only solace is that player has workers to help out. I don't know. Yeah, this is a cost benefit thing. It's not an I don't want to ever do this. But that's what all comes down to this thing that we have here. Question is, will this reasonably get done in the next month? If so, do it. If not, close it. We've got to rigorously prioritize. All right, are we doing this one? Add an option to disable left click dragging the camera. I have a new thought. I was playing Terraria yesterday because there's a new patch. And I've played a bunch of times and I'm familiar with some of the settings. And the ones that I change on every new playthrough, and I do this for a lot of games, is the keybinds. Because I use a weird mouse and sometimes I'm on a weird keyboard. Anyway, that's pretty natural. But there's like a million settings in Terraria. And I realized as I was playing that if I had a problem with the game, the solution might be in the settings, but I'm probably never going to check it. And I've seen this happen with Skeleseller too. Sometimes people are like, I don't know, let's just give a good example here from something like this. Like, oh yeah, I don't want the mouse to pan when you hit the edge of the window. So this behavior, like it's panning the camera right now. It's like, well, in the settings, that's one of the very few things you can actually fix by just unchecking that box and hitting save, and now it doesn't pan anymore. But if your first reaction isn't to go look in the settings, there's no recourse, right? We're not going to just pop up a tip saying like, hey, do you dislike this as an option? Because, well, how are we going to know if you like it or not? You might be intentionally doing it, you might not be intentionally doing it. So if I were to put this in the settings and be like, hey, you can turn off left click to drag the camera, I guess maybe I'm thinking of the wrong scenario. Maybe the scenario is someone's complaining about, oh man, this is really bugging me in the game. And then someone else is like, oh, there's a setting for that. And then they go fix it. And now they don't need to involve anyone else. Maybe that's a scenario. The issue with that is that I don't think people are playing Skeleseller for long enough to get into that situation. Like Stardew Valley, you might play a game for 100 hours. So if an hour number 40, you're like, hey, I'm bothered by this thing, the next 60 hours will be improved by finding a setting for it. But in Skeleseller, the total playtime is about 10 hours maybe. So hour number 8 rolls around and you're like, you know what, that was a pretty good game, but I didn't like this one part of it. And someone's like, oh, you could just go in here and fix it. I'll be like, yeah, that would have been nice to know. And then they'll move on with their lives. Have a search in the settings. So one, we don't have very many settings. So having a search, I think, would be even more cumbersome. Plus then we need to have like natural language processing for things people might say, and we need to handle localization. But even if we had search, I don't know if people would go to the settings to try to fix that stuff. They might be like, oh, this game pans when you move to the side of the window. Like, oh, that sucks. And it's just like, keep playing. And I'm not just pulling this out of nowhere, by the way. I've watched a bunch of people play Skeleseller, and every once in a while there is a solution to their problem. And recently I had someone play who was like, oh, I couldn't see things. And I was like, oh, was the game scale setting not sufficient for you? Or did you just not find it? He's like, I didn't even think to look. And this is a relatively technical person. So yeah, I think some people will find settings and some people won't. Allow the cursor to push items around. Yeah, so I think that's maybe a better solution here, is something like, well, at least for the old problem that we were talking about, like you're trying to grab a certain item so you can like drag them all around and push them out of the way. That could potentially work. The thing that we're talking about here, by the way, is should you be able to stop this from happening? Like you can't left click drag the camera. Because what people try to do is they tried clicking an item and they missed by a little bit and then drag the camera, and then they have to drag it back and then click the item they wanted. And when you're dragging a lot of items, it can sometimes be annoying. If you accidentally miss, you do this now. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do this. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do this. One, it's not incredibly urgent. Two, you eventually get the quick move menu, which means you don't have to drag items as much. And three, I don't know how many people would even look in the settings for this or try it out. Oh, I search for certain things or read notes or descriptions. So you always miss a number of people who don't ask or look. Yeah, like I said, I wonder if the scenario that matters more is, like I said, like, I guess I'll write it in here actually. There's a scenario where someone will play a long form game and complain about something that's easily fixed by the settings. That could happen with Skeleseller, but the amount of time that people can play isn't so long that they'd probably benefit from this scenario. Is that you can't help people do things the same way that you do them. Instead, just make sure they aren't fighting themselves. Yeah, I think the gaming realm is a little bit different because I think there are some settings that a lot of people will always change in every game that they play. Sound settings are like very, very important for people. Video settings are important for people. Like a lot of people actually mentioned in this stream that, oh, I go into a game and the first thing I do is mute the music. And I'm like, what? Like the game music is one of the reasons to play the game. But yeah, some people do that. And a lot of people control the video settings either for resolution or full screening or some like, you know, don't stop the game when it loses focus, those sorts of things. So I think it is pretty natural to go into the settings for some of this stuff. And I do see people doing it for Skeleseller for the sound sliders at least, which are front and center and people usually get that stuff. But yeah, I don't know about for every kind of setting. Anyway, let's close this. All right, How many issues do we have? 165, but not really, because we've closed a few. So maybe we're at like 160. And 160 divided by 48. And we wanted to roughly like double or triple this amount. So to do about 7 bugs per day. I don't know how many have closed today, but let's look through at least another couple more. And I kind of want to push a new playtest version. Idle games have a standard of obnoxious background music. Oh, they weren't even talking about idle games necessarily. It's like they might go into Minecraft and just turn off the music. I think Minecraft has pretty pleasant music. Don't spend time trying to fix issues people might have with being clunky with something. Yeah, and also, I worked on something, what, a couple days ago on stream, and someone in chat, and they were just being helpful and nice, and I'm not saying this to, like, complain about them or anything, but they said, like, improvements are improvements when I worked on whatever thing I worked on at that time. And I said, yes, we did make the game better, but we are on such a limited time schedule right now that we need to be picky about which improvements we make. So yeah, I think this particular kind of improvement is not something that meets the bar right now. And I kind of joke that like there's nothing better for triage than releasing soon. You'll close everything. All right, let's keep going. Wait, what is that? Getting stuck in a battle window. Is it because you increase the size of this? So let me turn off the music. Default controls on the deck are fairly decent. One odd issue I found is that I have to click in the battle window at the bottom. I can't scroll the map. Oh, this is not stuck in the same way that I thought it was. Yeah, I'll need to test that later. It disappear quicker than picking a release date. Yeah. We need forcing functions every once in a while. And not just in technical aspects of our lives. Like I think sometimes ultimatums are actually the answer to some things. It's like, oh, it actually puts you in this mindset of like, do I want that thing or that thing? Otherwise, you just think, oh, I'll make the decision in the future. Add sounds to anything you can hover over now. What is this? Update is only missing from some things. The extractor lever, the town hall, and items. Really? Okay, that's still true. That's still true. It's true for items as well, but I don't really care for items. I don't want it making sounds like that, but I think it should make a sound for this. Yeah. So town hall and extractor, let's do it for those. So what's the problem? Why didn't I just do this? It sounds like it's very easy. First of all, what's it called? Button hover, I think. Yeah. Town hall. Is there like a mouse? Or let's turn off the music. There's no hover here. Is there a region? How do we know that you clicked this? Well, how did I do it for the garbage slime? Did I do it for the garbage slime? I did. Okay, so yeah, how's that happen? Hover. Oh, because they're an NPC and NPCs have it? Enable sound on hover. What? Play sound on hover. Wow, look at that. So that's a clickable area. Does the town hall have a clickable area? Yeah, it does. Why am I not just doing this then? Wow, look at that. Okay, well, this seems dead simple. So we just need the town, which we do get. We don't get. We get it here. And we set the level, set town hall graphic. A town hall graphic is its own entire scene. So we need town hall level dot clickable. We can't get the clickable area. I'll just make an init here. Public void init town. And then we get the clickable area, which we're going to save off here. Private equals null. That changes, good. And then in here we do Something about the town. What did I say? Hover? Enable sound and hover. There we go. And we just initialize it. And that should fix one of them. I don't think the sign next to the garbage sign had a hover sound. I think it does. I'll check it out though. But I think all the signs are working for it. So I guess I'll just click new. Oh, the perk board? Yeah, the perk board has it. Okay, done with that. And now I just need it for the lever, which I'm assuming is the exact same solution. Clickable area. Yep, looks like it. Do we have an init here? Yes, we do. Do we have the town? We do. Okay, so then we just say enable sound or whatever I called it. Except for it's actually on the clickable area, which do we not fetch? No, we do. Sound. Done. Yeah, and it is kind of hard to hear sometimes. I think I've already toned it down too because it's like a hi-hat sound and it just sounds kind of annoying when people are hovering over all over the place. Watched a lot of Skeleseller videos. All right, I think we fixed it now. I can't hear that. It's a very satisfying sound. Cool. Yeah, cool. Okay. That was it. Easy peasy. So this is issue 770. Add on hover sounds to town hall and lever. Fixes this. Done. And I'm just going to write here. I fixed this in this, but I didn't do anything about items. I think it would be annoying to hear a sound every single time you hover over an item. Yeah. All right, next issue. Randomize a playlist of music. All right, so we have 5 town tracks. 5 town tracks. Do we want to do it for this? Because I actually do think it's a little bit annoying that every time you load the game, it plays the first town track. And I still said even here, I want the first one to always be the main town theme. So here's what I'm thinking. Basically, every time you create a town, yeah, we just randomize the order. This should be easy, right? What do we call this? Town music one? Yeah, here. All right, so here it is. Music IDs. So I'm thinking every time we call initialize, we shuffle this list. Shouldn't this be like dead simple? It's read only, but let's just not make it read only. Is there a shuffle in... I make a shuffle somewhere? Oh, do we have a shuffle function? Shuffled. To list sample max value. Okay, that's how we do it. Does that work? It looks like it worked. Why is it yellow? Read only fields. Oh yeah, because I mean it's not read only. There's spaces here too. All right, let's try that out. So it should just have randomized a playlist for us. How do we test this though? I guess we'll know because the first track has an 80% chance of not being the first track anymore. I said that stupidly. You know what I mean? I don't hear any music. I turned it off. Wait, so that is the first track. Let's try it again. That's still the first track. Technically, that could still happen. That is a 4% chance. That is a 1% or less. Or less than 1%. Much less. Yeah, it's not working. All right. I know why, I think. Or maybe I don't know why. But somewhere we set the number of tracks. Current track. Current track using music IDs that count. I don't know. What are we doing here? Oh, because we're not indexing these, maybe? No, we are indexing these. Am I just not shuffling this? Does not do what I think it does? Should have been easy. So music IDs should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I run this line, and it now should be in a shuffled order, right? It is. Why is it not playing? So it should play track 5 first. But it don't do that. All right, I don't know what's going on. Well, let's dig deeper then. So what happens when you start up? We init here. Music delay interval changed. Set the music IDs. That's init. Do we call play after that? Games started or loaded. Just call play. What does play do? Play next track. Play next track. Stops the prior track. Increments. Checks to see if it should loop around. And then gets the music ID based on that track. All right, guess we'll put a breakpoint there too. Because maybe it's... I don't know. I don't know what's happening. So we look at our shuffle. Our shuffle has set this to 4 is first. So now we go to our play, and play is going to try to play current track -1, which is track 4. Why don't I hear track 4 play then? What? Current track is 1. Get audio stream player by track number. Oh, the audio. Oh my god. The audio stream players are different? Where did I make those? Okay. I see. So I need to randomize the audio stream players and not whatever I just did. And that should just fix everything. Except for we use current track somewhere else. These are for music IDs. Get music ID dot volume. What? Oh, yeah, wow. Okay, let me think though. Why do we do that? Okay, so this could be a little bit trickier than I thought. I need to make sure that we're randomizing both the streams and then matching the music to the volume level to the music track that's playing. Because these all have their own volume level set. Well, 2 of them are the same, but no other 2 are the same. I mean, technically, and this is a bad idea, but technically we could just level all of the music such that we play them at normal volume and the sound file itself is lessened or amplified. But and then the other thing we could do is we could just randomize a list of orders. So normally it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We just shuffle this list, so it turns into something like 4, 2, 1, 3, 0, and then we just play them in that order. Take care, leap year girl, and have a good weekend. Well, I guess I don't really care either way. So let's just do it the easiest way. Yeah, which means reverting everything I just did, except for copy pasting this line because I still want it. So we revert this, and now we come up with a play order. Private int track order. All right, so randomize playlist or randomize play order. Yeah. Okay, so this needs to be cleared. Let's just make it a list. Yeah, you just clear it that way. Then we go for int I equals 0. Yep, add that. I should just make this a list. Okay, so now we clear it. Then add that and then shuffle it. Yeah. So there's a play order that's been randomized. Now when we call play next track, we take the current track and check to see if it's greater than the play order, track order. Otherwise, set it back to 1. And then when we get which music ID we're going to play. Oh, we can't do this anymore now. Oh, wait, yes, we can. Well, kind of we can. We'd have to do this. I'm going to just hackily do this at first, and then we'll make this a little bit better at the end. Now we get the music ID of the track order. And then that's it, right? Is there anywhere else that current track is used? Get audio stream by track number. Yeah, that's technically -1. Oh, wait, is it technically -1? No, that's fine. I think I should be getting lunch soon because I think I'm doing stupid stuff right now. This might not even exist. How did this ever work to begin with? Oh, because we one indexed our track. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. So this doesn't need to be that way anymore. Yeah, we just do that. And then we set this back to 0. And not if it's greater than this, but if it's greater than this, -1. All right, I think we're good. We got to count -1. Actually, this doesn't even matter anymore. This could be 0. If we're shuffling, then we could set this to 0. So we don't need to set this at all. Okay. I think we're good. Let's try it. Title screen is not randomized. Okay, cool. This is town track 3. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to make it so that you can just press page up and go to the next track. You ever notice that you're doing rubber duck programming with us in chat? Yeah. And it helps when someone is actively asking me questions too, I think. At least that they have some awareness of what's going on. Like Ski was asking me questions the other day about it was 2 days ago, that bug that I had where battles got disposed weirdly, and he's like, oh, could it be the adventurer choice? Like, that got me thinking in a different way, and we eventually solved at least a problem. So yeah, this is one of the benefits of streaming, I think. And just thinking aloud sometimes. Sometimes I can jar myself out of my own like thought tracks. Page up. Sorry, other people, not meaning other than Mitch, other than me. All right, play next track. And this way we don't need to wait, because otherwise we'd be here for like 10 minutes while the music plays out. All right, I want to pay attention to the order too. Nothing played? That means there's a problem. Yep, there's a problem. Line 79, track number -1. Okay, that's no longer supposed to be a thing. Get audio stream player by track number. Why do we even make a function for this if it's literally just an array access? Goodbye. Get audio stream by track number. Done. Oh, it's the awareness part. No, so that was, I guess, kind of a jab at some of the people who and I feel bad for this category of people. They want to help, but they don't know enough about how. Like every once in a while, someone will come in, they'll be brand new to the stream, and they don't even know what Skeleseller is. So they're like, oh, have you thought of, you know, you left click to cast a fireball? And I'm like, that's not how this game works. It's just not even, it's not relevant. It's not possibly a solution. It's, yeah, those sorts of things. Hey, Legend. Okay, so this is track 5. Let me press page up. Track 3. I'm only writing them down because they should be in the same order the next time around. This is 4. This is 1, which leaves 2. Yep, sure enough. And now that should be in that same order. Yep. 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 Okay, cool. Yeah, nice. I like this a lot. So now when we go back into the game, it'll be a different order. It's still 5. Now it's 4. 2. 1. 3. 5, 4, 2, 1, 3. 4, 2, 1, 3. Yeah, good. And in bone mode, it should be the same way, right? 4, 2, 3, 1, 5. 2, 3, 1, 5. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, cool. Everything's working. What if we could left click to shoot a fireball? You Toulouse. Well, I think what Toulouse is implying is that I'm saying these people are idiots. I think there is something idiotic about, like, imagine entering a room where people are trying to solve a problem. You've not heard of the problem. It might be rocket science. It might be pouring water into a glass. And you're like, hey, you should do this. Like, you haven't heard a single thing. That is kind of dumb. And yet I've had that happen. And I've had to sometimes repeatedly push back on, like, hey, you should really try the game. You should really play the game. And by the way, I get it if, let's say I'm on like day 5 of development. Like, yeah, there's nothing for you to play yet. There's no demo out. You might not have heard of the game or something. Should still probably ask a question first, but you know. Hey, girls, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit of pressure. Just wanted to be part of the discussion. Yeah, and I get that. And that's why I said I feel bad for that category of people, because they don't have ill intent. They want to help. And then there's another category of people who, even when they find out about what they need to do, then they're still unequipped to help. So it's like, if, let's say there was some like city planning discussion about how do we reduce traffic, and I'm like, oh, I want to be part of this. I've studied. That doesn't mean I know how to solve the problem. It's not my wheelhouse. But that's part and parcel of streaming. And I think the only thing that's difficult about that is sometimes when people ignore the suggestions to, like, hey, maybe go find out a little bit more. I think a lot of times those suggestions kind of come from equal parts kindness and hubris. Yeah, or just ignorance. I think there is a, like, I'll paint a picture for you that's a little bit more specific. Like a 12-year-old comes in here and they just aren't aware of how this sort of thing probably should work. And they're like, hey, what about left click to fireball? Okay, so this is a list of 0 indexed indices into both music IDs and audio stream players. That way each town will have could have a different playlist, so that you don't get annoyed by hearing the same track every time. I should add a left click to fireball just for Ski's version. And a right click to fireball for Grandra's version. All right, so this is not needed in here. Randomized play order. This actually ended up looking kind of nice. There's one thing I kind of want to change here, which is the amount of like double indexing I'm doing in this function. Play next track. Music system, play next track. So we do this in 3 places, but we do change the current track at any given point. I mean, I could make a function out of this if I wanted to. Shouldn't there be red here somewhere? There it is. Private int get current track number or track index. Yeah, so all this is going to do is return this. And then we replace this here with that. And then we rename current track to something like current. I don't know what we call that. Maybe track order index. An index solely into track order. This always increments from 0 to the number of tracks. Well, I should write it like how they said, I guess, n minus 1. Where n is the number of tracks. Then track order can be randomized rather than us randomizing the index or the tracks. Yeah. Legend. The first time I came here, the first message I got from you was just today, though. Were you here before then? Because I haven't streamed for a long time. Your Twitch account's pretty old. Yeah, that makes sense. Just lack the awareness or knowledge. Yeah. I think a lot of times an English word has a connotation that is not necessarily associated with its definition. I think ignorance is one of them. We think ignorance and we think of, I don't know, probably a lot of negative things. But a lot of times it's just literally someone doesn't know something. Yeah. Let me make sure I'm not wrong on the dictionary definition of ignorance. Lack of knowledge. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. It is literally that. That's it. So it could be someone who's just never seen something before, and it could be someone who's maybe a little bit more, I don't know, intentionally not trying to learn something. Just gonna start asking for design changes based on what a 12-year-old would say. I think it might actually be way more effective, honestly. It might be. In fact, sometimes I think a strategy for changing people's minds is essentially asking like a roundabout question. Instead of saying, like, what do you think of X? You'd say, like, what would it take to make you have a positive opinion about X? So, like, this is a direct question, but this is a roundabout way of asking. And it requires the other person to be talking in good faith. If they're not open to having a discussion or they don't want to think about any of this, they might just get aggravated. But I think it's an interesting technique, at least. Seen you a couple times, lurked a couple times. Just had a laugh when you burned a chatter. Well, by the way, whoever this like hypothetical chatter I'm burning is almost certainly not here now. This is a category of person that I've just seen show up over the years, and usually they just leave after a day or two. And like probably to everyone's benefit, because they probably won't enjoy watching the stream if they can't help out, and I won't enjoy their help not actually helping. Okay. I should test this one more time because I just did change some code. So let's go put that page up thing back in here and play next track and just make sure this is working. I don't need to test it like 5 times like I did earlier. Was it me? No. I don't think it would be someone who's still in the stream at all. Also, I don't even mind if someone does suggest something, it doesn't make sense. I tell them it doesn't make sense, or go play the demo. Then they play the demo, and then they start suggesting things again. That's fine. I'm not saying it's an opinion thing, like, oh, they said make the potion blue, and I made it green, and I didn't like that they suggested to make it blue. That's totally okay. Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I will test this one more time because it's potentially a concern that it's exactly in reverse order. So now it's, what is this one? 3, 4, 5, 2, 1. Yeah, okay. I'm happy. Oh, did I test the repeat section of that? Sorry, I'll do this one more time. I think I did. Yeah. Nice. Okay, cool. Love closing issues. All right, so randomize a playlist of music. Fixes this. Nice. Okay, is there like one more little thing we can look at maybe? Add a setting to control the camera panning speed when touching a screen. I'm not doing this. I'm just gonna. Okay, thanks to 917, I don't think this is as big of an issue anymore. So I'm just going to close this until / unless we get feedback. Yeah, unless we get feedback saying lots of people want this. Okay. You didn't set any manual numbers in that shuffle, right? I saw you limit the tracks for the demo. Just making sure it won't break with that feature flag. Oh yeah, that would probably be a good thing to test out. Let's set demo to true. Oh, in fact, this probably shouldn't even happen in the demo. No, it could happen in the demo. Oh, let's set it to true, and then let's go try this out. So now there are only 3 music tracks. And no bone mode. That's 2. No, that was 3, sorry. Now 1, 2. Yep, it's working. Okay. Yeah, but good to have me test that. This is concerning. I need to look at that at some point. I'll just write it down for the next time. Bug in demo. I just set the demo flag to true. Just start the game. Like open game, new game, and then just quit. That's all we have to do, I think. Let's just try that again. Wait, what if we just quit here? Do we even need to make it any farther? No, we don't. Open game, quit. That's it. Easy. Okay, we're going to revert this. Something good, I believe I briefly talked about it at some point. I wrote an app at work that allows users to kick off tests without having to always reach. Oh yeah, I remember you talked about that, yeah. I released it for manual QAs to use during the holidays and was waiting for more QAs to use it. Apparently they've been handing it out to their team members who are also devs. Now a lot of folks are using it. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, the shout-outs having a chance to win a prize I think is cool, but hopefully there's also like a, hey, I took initiative and, well, not I took initiative, but hopefully some manager or higher up says, hey, you took initiative and let's, I don't know, give you a promotion or something. I do think any recognition is good. I think verbal is the easiest, and then some kind of small prize or monetary, like a gift card, I think it's better. But then ideally it's like, well, end of the year, hey, look, you went and improved a major pain point for us. That's the kind of thing we want to see more of, so let's promote you. I wanted to push a new version, but we push a demo or a playtest version? And why am I even doing this? Didn't I have this written on my to-do list? Oh, I guess I had it here, kind of. But this wasn't push a new version. This was just merge the branch. Yeah, I kind of want to merge this. I wanted to at least close the issues so I don't keep looking over them again. Maybe we don't push a new version. I don't think anything was super important. I guess let's just go look at it. We got to push this and then click. Come on, GitHub. There we go. Do more, or I don't know. What have I been calling this in the past? Like random to-do items or something? Yeah, handle more to-do items. I think it's probably pretty reasonable. Handle more to-do items. Create. All right, so what do we do? I just want to read through these. That's the most recent, so this is the oldest one. Use new mage idle animation. Fix bug with customers desiring items. What was that? Oh, yeah, that was kind of minor. Fix bug where you can repeat elite battles. I remember this one, but I don't remember how I fixed this. Oh, yeah. Okay. Start common look by string. Bug removing listener. Mouse cursor. Wow, there's a lot of kind of minor stuff here, huh? This one's major. And help. Darn it. Okay, I remember why I wanted to push now. Because I wanted to start sharing Steam keys with press. But then I'd push the release version of the game. But there are no patch notes for the release version of the game. Can you make a news entry on Steam for an unreleased game? I guess technically I've been doing that, right? Yeah, because it shows here. Are there news entries specific to the demo? I don't know how this works on Steam. No, I don't think so. I think this is the exact same thing. If I click view all, app is 3226210, and if I click view all here, that's the same. Yeah, I don't think there are demo news items. So then it's probably going to super confuse people if I start writing. New branch for press with a full version of what we did. Yeah, but where do I put patch notes? Okay, yeah, this is just a general question, but like, even when the game is fully out, how do I separate demo patch notes from full version patch notes? There's only one like news section. I don't need that in quotes. I guess I just need to say like demo improvements, or I'll probably just demo improvements, and everyone else assumes that the other improvements are for the full game. Planning on keeping the demo up after release? Yeah. I think the demo is a good way to push the game. I guess the demo just won't really have any updates. Or maybe I just write in the patch notes like, here are the things that affected the demo. Or I just ignore it and just let people figure it out. Yeah, that's probably the most reasonable thing. So then it's only going to be confusing for the next 46 days. And the version numbers won't match either. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. By the way, Ski, as long as I've got you here, have you heard of Curator Connect on Steam? Because I read a bunch about it, and my general conclusion was it sounds like it's a waste of time. But I'm curious if you had a different experience at all. Like, I wasn't even certain that I was going to participate in it. For those who don't know, Steam curators are, I guess, just anyone can volunteer to be a Steam curator. And the ideals behind the program were that there would be curators for the massive Steam library who'd be able to say like, okay, I play RPGs, so I'm going to recommend all the best RPGs to you, and you send them a copy of your game and they review it. This Curator Connect thing is a way for you to reach curators. You can send out 100 keys. They're not really keys. And that way they can't sell them. You're basically just giving them a copy of the game in the hopes that they review it, and ideally positively review it. Curators end up being people just wanting free copies from what I saw. Yeah. So that's one of the problems with it. Another problem with it is even if it's a real curator, they might have almost no audience. So it might not be worth doing. So I looked through this briefly and I tried to find out like, okay, what is the presence of these curators? It's kind of hard to gauge. Some of them have YouTube channels. And if they do have a YouTube channel, it's not the YouTube channel that they're trying to grow. It's like their Steam presence or something they're trying to grow. So the YouTube channel may only have like 100 views or something. Anyway. Yeah, so I think what we should do is push this version and probably start writing patch notes as though it's for the release version of the game. I don't think there are any with real audiences. I think there are some with real audiences. Like I saw some comments people were posting and probably they have like Discord servers and stuff. I didn't look super closely. I don't know how old ago or how long ago that was. All right, so yeah, let's push the release version. Which I guess means merging this branch first, huh? All right, what else do we do though? Anything else that's like really good? That was actually pretty good too. It is very obvious. Fix minor bug. What was a minor bug? Oh yeah. Will this have all of the translations in here? Do I need to do anything specific for that? I probably do. Yeah, I probably do. Skeleseller, games, submodules. Okay. I'll merge translations or pull translations, and then I'll push the release version of the game. Probably just make a news item and make it clear that I'm switching to covering the release version in the patch notes, which should only affect press/influencers. Yeah. All right, well, what's step number 1? Just merge the branch. Step 1 is complete. Okay, so now we switch back to main. There we go. Actually make sure that that worked. Oh, also it should have closed a bunch of issues. Does it change their timestamps to match? Just now? Yeah, it does. Nice. So how many got closed by pushing that branch? 9. Pretty good. All right, cool. So we're down to 154 issues. So now we want to pull the translations. Git pull. Already up to date. Interesting. This is the second suggested. Oh, these I heard are really, really bad to ever share your key with. Yeah. And there are even worse ones, which are like categorizing curators. Someone who's like, this game was made with Godot, or is this a pixel art game or something? And yeah, they just say yes. That's it. Yeah, I don't totally know why those exist. Isn't there a tagging system on Steam that people can use? Because it says here 4 curators have reviewed this product, and you click this, and is it made with Godot? So yeah, it's just a bunch of games that are made with Godot. And then same thing, made with Godot. This one only has 373 followers instead of 5,300. Then these are real people who actually reviewed this. And they wrote out customized reviews for this too. So I think it's pretty neat. But yeah, they don't have a ton of followers. I don't know what the actual influence is. Oh, that person, Lord of Loot, made a video about Skeleseller. And that's how I found them. But yeah, as you can see, it didn't do super well. I appreciate that they do this sort of thing. It's just I do need to consider marketing reach. So many of those lists because do they use Epic? All right, so pull translations we've done. Now push the release version of the game. Okay, let's go follow the release instructions, which should be pretty easy because I think we just click this button and we're done. Yeah. Never click into curator reviews since I've only seen garbage. I've never looked at a curator from a consumer perspective. I just judge the Steam page for that. So yeah, I don't know who ends up looking at that stuff. We should probably call this like 0.9.0 because it's very close to launch, even though I didn't really do a major version update right now. But yeah, let's try that. All right, so it's going to be pretty chill for the rest of the stream because I'm just going to be pushing this version, which no one has access to. Yeah, and I do want to make a news item. I don't think we're even going to have patch notes in it. Probably no need for patch notes for the first set of stuff since no one has access. Where's the... There's... Yes, I think the only other long form videos I have a plan to make before launch is the soundtrack, which isn't like super long form, but it's not gonna be on YouTube Shorts. And then I want to make some shorts to try to push Skeleseller and just see how that does. I don't think my long form content is gonna pull in anything of value, anything of significant value. It did pull in some subscribers. In fact, can I show this? Let me take a look. Yeah, so here's the analytics of this video. 192 views, 5 more subscribers. That's pretty good. If we look at engagement, average view duration is about 10 minutes, which is about a third of the video. You can usually see when people drop off in the video. I don't remember how you do that. Audience, maybe? Yeah, I don't remember how you do that. Strange. I don't know where you find that thing. And then revenue hasn't been published yet, but it's probably gonna make me like $1. So it's not for the money. It's not for the subscribers. Ideally, it was for the wish list or something, but I don't think it probably really pushed those a whole lot. Hey, Traffic. Were you successful in setting up a keyboard as your keyboard? I'm not sure what you mean. Setting up a keyboard as your keyboard. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. We should probably try running this thing. Let's go do that. This should be release version 0.9.0. And it should be considered... Yeah, there's no running instance of Steam. Okay. Oh, no. Come on. Invalid UIDs. Ramey's Easter egg. What? Did Kevin manage to push directly to... I didn't think he had access to this. Okay. Add Easter egg. Well, that shows that I don't have protections on this. I think you can only do... I think you can only do this if you have a paid GitHub plan. Well, I guess we're reverting this. Yeah. Well, there's your 5 seconds of fame, Randy. There are still UID problems in the launch version. This is going to make it to press and influencers. Man, I got to re-push the whole thing now. Yeah, I don't want that there. All right, well, I guess we can run the UID tool now too. Where is this? Main. Okay, so remove Ramey's Easter egg. Oh, yeah, only after some period of time. Yeah, they probably need the watch stats on that. I remember there being like a drop-off graph. Okay, so Oh, that didn't look good. What is that? It's only if debug. Let me turn this on. What was I doing? The UID thing. Yeah, I think something's broken about this though. Or maybe I just needed to click Godot for that. Oh, I see. Gotcha, traffic. Yeah. I guess a while ago it was 6 years. Yeah. I thought it was something more recent. I never did anything with that project. It was really just for fun. There's probably a need by someone out there who's working with music all the time and has not enough desk space and wants to use their piano as a computer keyboard. But even then, I don't think it'd probably be worth learning. All right, so close all tabs. This should have changed. Yeah, it changed everything. Wow. But why? This shouldn't change every single time. Run UID tool. It didn't change anything else, right? No, just that. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to run it again. And it should make no changes this time. Yeah, someone joined the Discord server and tried to get the piano set up so that they could play, I want to say it was Genshin Impact with a piano. This was back when people were doing Dark Souls runs with just the weirdest things you could think of. And I've seen some people play World of Warcraft with just a camera on them interpreting their actions. So they have to make like a running action to run and some kind of like, I don't know, they point or something to target an enemy. It's pretty zany. Okay, this looks like it's working. So now I got to re-push this and now it's going to be a different version number. Okay, yeah, let's try. Super Mario 64 on drums. It feels like people are looking for challenges more and more. Wait, this didn't... Oh, I never pushed. Right, I didn't finish this. Huh, that's risky. I don't have any passwords here now, but I might have. Oh, well. Yeah, there's a metric server password. I'm going to just shut down the whole metric server eventually anyway. Also, the password's just a GUID. And even if someone had access to it and just spewed random metrics to it, it doesn't really matter. I haven't even looked at them for like a month or two. They're so uber optimized. Yeah. I mean, I think some of these challenges are getting a little bit ridiculous, though. I was watching Caleb Hart's stream, and he's playing Iron Mario, I think it was. What are the rules for this? Here they are. Okay, I don't know what rules he was playing with, but like taking any damage is an immediate reset. That on its own is already kind of crazy. And then what else? Don't use the owl. Enemies that toss you now throw you with twice the strength. There's a whole bunch of these things. Enemies move twice as fast and have red eyes. All right, so now let's open this build. There should be no message about Raimi in here. This should not be happening. Man. Invalid UID. Why is that happening? Saturation GD shader has the incorrect thing. I mean, it's working. Yeah, I don't care about this right now. All right, let's just click a button. Oh, hey, those buttons don't make any sound. Man, it's kind of weird if you're starting a new game that doesn't play the track 1 anymore. feel about that. I wonder if I should just fix what bothers me about this track. What am I doing? Not paying attention at all. I'm just listening to music to see. I like this part of the track. All right, what am I doing? I'm quitting out of this and saying that we want to upload this to Steam. I don't know what we're supposed to do about this stuff, though. I guess I'll write these down. Despite running the UID tool, I still see this when loading the launch version. All right, do you want to upload to Steam? Yes. I think it's going to have me do two-factor auth stuff over here. This shouldn't be taking that long. Looks like it's done now. Okay, so don't show this on Steam or on stream because it'll show passwords. Copy over to my other monitor then. So this is version 090. Set live, push the tags, and then make it public. Do we have to do that? I don't have to do that because I guess it's not launched yet. Hang on a second. Engage privacy mode. Engage privacy mode. Offline, no, invisible. I guess it doesn't matter what I have. All right, now I can show this on stream. So we go into Skeleseller, update queued. Okay, I update this. And it should show the version at the bottom left being 090. Just want to make sure I didn't need to confirm anything. Yeah. Okay. What did I do that could easily detect this? Yeah, I know what we can do. We can check that stupid feature I added. So we just count to 25 after that. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'll let that run for a bit. All right, and then make a news item. And then the only other thing I wanted to do was the journal. All right, has it been 25 seconds? Now it has been. So stupid. And yet also such a great feature. I don't have cheats or I could speed this up, but I think it caps at 75 different hands pointing at this thing. How many does it add? There's nothing stupid about this. Okay. So what prompted this, I wanted to have some fun. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And I was like, I've been doing too many serious tasks. So someone had complained that they couldn't find this sign. And they were like looking all around the map. And I'm like, oh, I'll let them find the sign. All right. So if you wait for 25 seconds, this happens. The only reason I didn't add text is because we need to translate it too. I don't want to add burden for a joke. Oh yeah, once you click this, it go away. And that's it. You just continue with the game. But yeah, I did think it was pretty funny. Oh yeah, just the normal stuff. Let's play it endlessly to see if it breaks the game. Yeah, they might. And some people will accidentally find it. I do imagine that some streamers will get into that scenario and they'll just pause here and be like, oh, by the way, I wanted to mention the dev reached out to me and you should really follow him on whatever and blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, arrows will just start pointing and they'll think that it's just a feature of the game instead of being a joke. All right, so now I want to post a news item. Post on Steam. So game update. I mean, I don't know what I read this as. Small update or patch notes. And don't we have a look at past ones for examples? Yeah, open. Okay, launch. Like, patch notes will now reflect the launch version of the game. Hi, everyone. Skeleseller launches on March 17th, which is just 46 days away. The demo is pretty solid and will still get some minor updates, mostly bug fixes or quality of life improvements. But there's only one news section per app, per game on Steam. So I'm going to start using this space to share patch notes for the launch version. Given that no one actually has access to the launch version yet, there's nothing to say in this post, but the next one will include the changes. I want there to be another space here. I plan to start sharing keys with press and influencers. On that note, if you know anyone who or any YouTubers or whoa, is that a ligature of U in capital T? I don't think I've ever seen that. Wow. Huh. I wonder if that works with any of the lowercase letters. Oh, it does. Wow. Oh, that's pretty crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that in a font I've just been typing in online before. Yeah. They made custom ligatures for all of those. The T oversees all. Well, it just looks so weird, doesn't it? Does it have YouTubers and feel like there's like a negative space in between the U and the T? Like, look at where the cursor is. It's on top of the U. It's not even on top. It's to the left of the edge of the U. So weird. So on that note, if you know any YouTubers or streamers who might be interested in the game, please pass the Steam page along. Feel free to include my email address. Yeah, I don't know about that. Okay. I hate it. I mean, I don't hate it necessarily, but it does look very strange to me. All right. Looking forward to launch. I'm signing this like it's an email, but I don't care. This is fine. All right, save. We're not going to put a picture on this or anything. No one's ever going to read this. Publish. No pictures. Don't care. Hey, Sarah. Okay, so we've done everything that I wanted to do today. And now we just fill out the journal. Wow, pretty solid day. Got to figure out what I'm doing this afternoon because I'm not going to be streaming. Like I said, I'm going to cut out probably every afternoon stream until the game launches. I just think there's more stuff I should be doing off stream than on stream. Reduce the bug backlog. Got the issue count down to 154. pretty good. All right, yeah. I'll put this on the Monday thing. And I guess the closing the issues on Monday's schedule as well. And then this we can put down in the backlog. Yeah, although I am closing a lot of these, it just won't fix. I wonder how many more of these are actually going to result in some changes. Man. Okay, well, like I said, good progress. If anyone wants to see some more content from me this weekend, I made a half-hour-long video about the evolution of Skeleseller. I put a lot of time into this. These are not things that I take lightly. Even toward the end, I did some section where I just kind of show some Google slides here. Where is this? Yeah, like this is a cheapo way of me being able to make the video, but there's still a lot of time writing the script or writing the content for it and then recording it and editing it. And this is one of the few times when, while editing it, I went back to re-record the intro because I was a little bit redundant and I like having pretty polished videos. Yeah, anyway. All right, let's go find someone to raid. We got a few raids today and I would like to pass this on to somebody else. I feel like we should find someone new. Yeah. Let's use the raid finder tool. Okay, so looking for someone in the same category and I'm not already following and it hasn't been online for a long time. And this person, cozy voice actor. Okay, we can raid them. I don't know what they're doing on the stream. Possibly voice acting. Learning how to make games. Yeah, sure. Let's raid them. Okay. Well, thank you all for watching. I'll be back on Monday, I think. Wait, are they making a game? I don't know what they're doing right now. All right, well, I'll still raid them. Yeah, I'll be back on Monday. If not, it's because I'm doing some marketing stuff. I'll try to post on Discord about it. But thank you all for watching. I will leave you with the Discord and have a good weekend. Goodbye, all.